Windsor Park in Launceston. It's a TSL clash. A very important one too here between Launceston and Lauderdale this afternoon. Third versus fifth, a lot on the line. We're getting towards the business end of the season and finals positions up for grabs. And the journey starts today, especially for Lauderdale, who are trying to fight off a challenge from the Hobart City Demons, who are just behind them on the ladder. Welcome to our live stream on the TSL Facebook page or the TSL website. Also, welcome to our City Park Radio listeners on 96.5 FM. Yes, our brand new frequency this week, 96.5, and our old frequency as well, 103.7. Wherever you're listening or watching throughout Tasmania, welcome to TSL Footy, and welcome to my fellow commentators. First of all, Damian Gill. Welcome, Gilly.
Pleasure to be here, Dave, and I'm really excited for what this clash will bring.
And also in commentary today, we've got Anthony Osborn. Welcome, mate.
Yeah, very pleased to be here. It should be an absolute blockbuster between these two sides. It
should do indeed. And Gilly, been talking off here about this clash, and both sides have their strengths. I know Launceston played very well as a team. They're well coached. They've got a strong midfield. What are you expecting from them today?
I'm expecting them to be extremely fierce in and under, really strong at the contest and at the coalface. They've built their strong season off the back of that, and I'm expecting a really dangerous forward line, and they've got a real good mix there with some players that can blow the game apart. So that's what I'm expecting from Launceston. From Lauderdale, this is a real must-win. They got beaten by Launceston down on their home turf, down at the tip, so they'll be wanting to make amends, and they're, as you said off the top, they're looking to see off a challenge from Hobart City Demons. So Thor Boss got a big in for them, and I think it'll be a really interesting midfield battle because there's superstars on both sides of the ledger.
And when you look at Launceston side, they've got some players that play well week in, week out, but don't get a lot of kudos or publicity. I talk about the players like Thomas Shepherd, like Jake Smith, like Sam Rundle, some experienced players now that they've got such a lot of depth in midfield, and we'll see today they'll rotate quite a few players through there.
Yeah, they've got a deep mix there, don't they, that they can run through there, and yeah, just solid citizens that get the job done week in, week out, and I think that's the key to their success, the amount of numbers they can run through the middle. I'm interested to see how the battle between Launceston's back line and Lauderdale's forward line. Lauderdale's forward line was not quite up to muster last week against Clarence. Their delivery inside 50 wasn't good either. And Launceston's back line has been fragile at times this year, so I think that's an interesting point to watch in this one. A
big player for them, Gilly, is Simon Vanderveld, a young player. And he's had a lot of big matchups this year, including Bart McCulloch last week. His disposal lets him down a bit, but he's an improving player, and I think he'll probably line up on Wiggins today, I think.
Yeah, I think so, and the job he does on Wiggins might just be vital in this clash and how it plays. Wiggins last week, very quiet against Clarence, well held by Jace Bailey, so had his colours lowered and he'd be looking for a response.
Now, Anthony, I'm going to put you on the spot here, mate. Who do you think is going to win today and why?
I've seen more of Lauderdale this year, to be honest, but I think on their home deck, Launceston are going to be very hard to beat. The clash down at Lauderdale earlier in the year was really, Launceston did see off quite a surge from Lauderdale late in the game. If I'm going to have to put my mouth on the line, I'm probably going to say Launceston at home, but this is a very tough game to pick.
Gilly?
It is a difficult game to pick. I'm going to go with Lauderdale. I think there's a lot riding on this one. I think Thor Boss got back in the side is massive for them, and I think it's going to come down to their forward line firing, and expect to see Bryce Walsh spend a lot of time forward and have an impact like he did against North Launceston a few weeks ago.
Changed my mind a lot, and I think I've settled with Lauderdale. I think it'll be a close game, but I just think they've been in good form of late. The Blues, they did well last week. Only one quarter let them down against North Launceston, but I just got a feeling today Lauderdale might just have a little bit too much power up forward for the Blues, as you said before, Gilly. But it'll be a good contest. A couple of years ago, we had a great game here when Launceston weren't faring well, and I think Lauderdale had a shot for goal right on the siren. I think it might have been Robbie McManus, and they missed that shot, and I think the Blues won by a point. So there's a bit of a history of good contests here on this ground between the two teams.
Well, let's hope for something like that again, Dave.
Mercury Cup score, 15-11-101 the Blues. On top of the ladder, they maintain their position. They defeated Lauderdale 11-6-72, which was a very a good standard game and well fought throughout. The Blues led comfortably at quarter time. Lauderdale came back, but the Blues drew away in the second half. We're all in readiness. There is a late change here. We should have mentioned that Corey Shepherd did his ankle training on Thursday. He's out of the team. James Gillo is in. Umpire raised the ball loft for City Park Radio and the TSL live stream. Here's Damian Gill.
So here we go. Up the ball goes. It's Leadham and Smith. Smith slaps it away, but there's a block in the process, and it will go the way of Leadham. So the big man for the Blues will have the first say in this one. It's a little hand pass, and he finds Smith, who goes back and finds Savage. He's taken straight away by Havea, who finds Heavey. Heavey has a look. It's not going to reach goal. It bounces away and bounces out of play. So it'll be a throw-in deep in Lauderdale's attack. So they make the first foray forward in this one. Alex Heavey, dangerous player anywhere around the arc. Distance never really a trouble for Alex Heavey. So this one will be thrown in. Smith and Leadham to do battle once more. In it comes. Leadham gets front position. It's swallowed away by Smith. McGuinness in a tackle. There for Heavey. Blackberry claims it, and he's caught high. So it'll be a free kick for the Blues and a sigh of relief. So Blackberry in the pink socks today. All of the Launceston players. It goes wide out to the right-hand side. Finds Casey Brown. It's a long kick down the wing. One that suits Lauderdale better through Ben McGuinness. He finds McManus inside for Franklin. The edge of the square. He turns and goes. A nice kick out in front. Finds Roberts. He turns and finds Heavey. That's a wonderful ball movement from Lauderdale. Tremendous stuff. Heavey caught late. No 50 coming. But he'll have a look at goal. And he's a sharp shooter. Alex Heavey will look to go back and put this one through the big sticks.
Yeah, great team play there from the Bombers, wasn't it? Off from the far side of the ground to the near side of the ground near us here. And, yeah, just good work.
Just hit targets, didn't they? It was sharp stuff. Nice switch by Ben McGuinness. So Alex Heavey strolls on in. It's left and it stays left and it's hit the woodwork out on the full. So never really looked like it, that one off the boot of Alex Heavey.
Relieving free, we taken by Tyrrell. Tassie Mariner goes long outside defensive 50. Mark to McManus, he plays on immediately. Kicks inside 50, is Heavey once again. He takes an easy mark, about 25 metres out from goal, directly in front. And loose defence there from the Blues. And Heavey, another opportunity here, and should make no mistake from directly in front.
Yeah, Heavey looking hot early, Anthony.
Yeah, no, actually down at the fixture between these two sides at Lauderdale earlier this year, there was a period when Lauderdale was surging and Heavey had about 4 shots on goal in a matter of 2 minutes, and he looks like he's about to do that again.
Heavey for goal. Keeps it low. It's accurate. First goal on the board for the Lauderdale Bombers. First goal of the contest here this afternoon. 1 straight 6 Lauderdale. Launceston yet to score.
Yes, an interesting kick there from Alex Heavey. Just a little poker, but it went through the big sticks. So the first goal, an important one for Lauderdale. They take the early advantage here away from home at Windsor Park.
Yeah, it's important, I suppose, playing away from home and in unfamiliar surroundings to get off to that good start. Certainly, they haven't got a foot wrong yet, the Bombers.
They've looked good.
So the other game underway at the moment is Clarence versus Devonport at Blunts. We'll give you some scores from that in a little while once they get underway. Back in the middle, here's Damian Gill.
Up they go again. The bounce favours Leadham. Over his head, Blackberry tries to gather, can't. Bryce Walsh in for Lauderdale. Misses it. Handed out to Leadham. He just gets a ball moving on the outside of his boot out, looking for Brendan Taylor. He eventually gathers, tries to hand it to a teammate, but it's out of play and out for a throw. So Launceston with their first movement forward. On the far side here at Windsor Park from the broadcast side of things as it's thrown in. McGuinness gets it down. He's found Blackberry there. He tunnels it along the wing. It's picked up well and punted into 50. It's Aganis under it. Over his head, swallowed away by Wiggins, who's in the defensive half. Onto it now is Donnellan. It's handed out from Walsh. He finds Sutton. Sutton does his best to manufacture a kick. He can't. It'll be a free kick. A good tackle there from Jake Nunn. And Launceston, there's a free man. I think it's Gillo all on his own. In fact, it was Brendan Taylor. He was ignored though, so Nunn goes to kick long, looking in the Rulla Kelly Mansell direction, and he's out, acrobated has handed out. It's Nat Franklin now moving it Lauderdale's way. Smith does well. Picks it up on the far wing. Centre wing out there. Numbers piling forward from both teams. It's a big high kick down the line and straight out of play. So disappointing from Smith, and the turnover now in the hands of Launceston.
1 goal straight, 6. Lauderdale Blues yet to score. And out in the full on the far side, right in front of the Launceston coach's box. Relieving free kick to Brady Polfreman. Most improved players in the league. He gets it short to Joey Boyce, who takes the mark right in front of the Lauderdale camp. Far side of the ground. Goes back. Kicks down the line. Up there looking for Leadham. Spills over the back. And the mark's taken by Hill for Lauderdale. He chips it backwards inside his own defensive 50 to Ben McGuinness, who takes an easy mark on the chest. He goes laterally to Sutton, who's deep in defence in the right back pocket. Reece Sutton looking for options. He goes back for whence the ball came. And mark's taken in defence there by Ed Stanley. Stanley goes short. Another short kick from Wish Wilson finds Bell Chambers. He's off and running now as Bell Chambers. On the right boot up the wing, looking for Tutai Havea. Good work there from Hutchison. Got the chop out, falls to Polfreman. Ugly old Cook, kick up towards attacking 50. Spills to Cleaver Camp, he can't pick it up. Chance now for none, he's dispossessed. Jake Smith takes it, he's turned on a tackle. He might have been caught holding the ball. Yes, he is. Took too long, Jake Smith. And be a free kick back to Max Cleaver Camp. Right on defensive 50 on the far side of the ground. You're listening to City Park Radio 103.7 and 96.5 and via the TSL live stream. Lauderdale have kicked the first goal here via Alex Heavey. As Cleaver Camp looks around, decides to go short in the end. As a lead-up player, the mark is taken there by Alex Hill. Alex Hill looks around, and the temperature a moment ago was 6.6 degrees here at Windsor Park. So don't let the sunshine fool you. It is cold. -3 last night. Typical Launceston weather, says Damian Gill. As the ball's on the far side, it's tackled to a standstill there. In fact, it's holding the ball against Sam Rundle. Free kick to Tutai. Tutai Havea in the lime green boots. Sums up his options. Looks left, looks right. Twirls the ball in his hands. Play on now, says the umpire. Has to get round to Rundle. Now he's looking for hands to the side. Kicked by McManus. Badly out of bounds, far side. It's 1 goal straight, 6 Lauderdale. Launceston yet to score.
Interesting to see Clint Brown, I think it is, inside forward 50 for Lauderdale. Not sure who he came in for yet, Dave.
Yeah, we'll have a bit of a look at that one. I'll scan around a little bit.
But an experienced player, Clinton Brown. Of course, an assistant for the Bombers, as this one's thrown in high. Leadham claims it. Goes nowhere quickly. This Blackberry is immediately held up, and it'll be rinse and repeat here at Windsor Park. 1 goal straight to Lauderdale. No score, Launceston, early in this one. And they jostle for position, the ruckman. Neither comes out with it. It's well claimed by Roberts. Ooh. A brave kick into the square. Ben McGuinness does well. It's followed up by Roberts again, but away they go now, Launceston. And it might just be a Gannis. He's at the races. Oh, he loses track of the ball. Wiggins back there. Running through is
Connor Smith,
sorry. And it will actually be a Lauderdale free kick. I'm not sure exactly what went on there, Dave, as it comes out from Wiggins and finds Ray Hill. Must have been holding from a Gannis, I reckon, on Wiggins. Hill back for Wiggins. Interesting to see him in the defensive half. Today I haven't seen it this season. Switched up and he picks out McManus to perfection. Keeps it moving. And it's with Stanley. Ed Stanley hands it off, finds McManus. Kick off the left, down the wing, looking for Nat Franklin. He bustles into a couple, support coming in Smith. But the line claims it, and it's out for a throw. As Lauderdale inch down the far wing here at Windsor Park. No great scoring so far in this one. In fact, very little looks at goal so far. Heavey with probably the 3 best. As contest forms, it's kicked away desperately by Launceston, and it's a mark for Sonny Whiting. No, it isn't. Goes back. I think it's Brendan Taylor there. It is. Just nudges down the line. Finds a teammate. Now looking for Whiting. He can't take it on his chest. Max Cleavercamp tries to chase him. It's won by Taylor. He flying shot from goal from the right side of the 50. He's offline, a behind for Launceston. So 1 goal straight, Lauderdale, 1 behind Launceston.
Long kick out for fullback. Out here looking for Ray Hill. He gets it on the second attempt. Comes out now towards Connor Smith, who tries to volleyball it to a teammate. Doesn't work. Player tackled. Falls to Lonigan. Spins out beautifully. Back to Connor Smith. Off the left boot. Whiting says, why didn't you give it to me? And Connor Smith, because I was giving it to Jake Nunn. But he couldn't take the mark. It's out of bounds right adjacent to the behind post. Connor Smith in the St Patrick's team that defeated Scotch last week in the independent schools final, along with Casey Brown, who was also in that team. They're both in the Launceston side today. Boundary thrown right adjacent to the behind post. Aganis doesn't get the knockout. Falls to Palfreyman for goal. It's the first goal of the day to the Blues. Opportunist goal there. Brody Palfreyman from the side of the pack. He's having a great season. And he's put through the first one for the day for the Launceston Football Club. 1-1-7. Lauderdale 1 goal straight 6.
Yeah, his emergence has been quite remarkable, hasn't it, Brody Palfreyman? In recent weeks, been one of the top players in the competition, don't you think, Anthony?
Yeah, certainly seen his name popping up quite a bit in the Team of the Week selections for the Tasmanian State League, and certainly a player that I think Lauderdale are going to have to keep a close eye on today. He
debuted at a very young age for the Storm a year or two ago, and was sort of a fringe player on the edge of the team. But since he's joined the Lonnie Footy Club, he's never looked back, and he's one of the best midfielders in the comp at the moment.
No question about it. Up they'll go again. It'll be Smith and Leadham. Smith loses his footing and Leadham helps himself. Hands it off nicely. Finds Rundle. Rundle gets it onto the far side. A trickling ball and it's out of play. Or is it? No, it isn't, says Ben McGuinness. Yes, it is, says the umpire, and it'll be thrown in. Far wing here at Windsor Park. There's plenty of sun, but I can tell you it's not the warmest.
Not where we are anyway.
No. As the ball comes in, Smith and Leadham, they jostle for position. Smith gets a hand. It's not a telling one. Under it is Palfreyman. Tries to just help it out. But he's wrapped up. And the ball going nowhere fast. Be a ball up.
Gilly first goal of the day at Launceston Arena to Clarence. 1-1-7. Lee Devonport yet to score.
You'd expect Clarence highly favoured in that one. Good to see Jordan Roberts back out there for the Roos, as this one's one down by Smith. Going nowhere again. Oh, it's good hands out of traffic. Finds Franklin. His handball lets him down. There for, I think it's Blackberry under all that. It was. He was collected.
Someone down here and badly injured too, I think. Blackberry's putting his hand up.
There's someone in a spot of bother. It's a blue.
It's Lonigan. Sam Lonigan, the coach. He doesn't look well at all.
Is not what we'd like to see. I think he was at the meat and the sandwich there, Sam Lonigan. I think it was Blackberry behind him and a Lauderdale player in front of him. And he looks a bit proppy and a bit ginger here. So Sammy Lonigan.
He's very wobbly on the legs too.
He's struggling.
He's struggling to stand.
Looked like the umpire did just take the number of the Lauderdale bomber there as well. Couldn't quite see who it was, but might have to have a look at that one during the week.
You're right, Anthony. The book is out.
Yeah, I'm not sure immediate reaction whether who'll have a case to answer. It just looked like one of those things where a few players' eyes for the ball and a fairly fierce meeting. But it's a real shame to see the coach Sam Lonigan wander off this early into proceedings. I think it will be a Launceston ball. I think it will be Jay Blackberry's. So off comes Sammy Lonigan. He was just starting to find his straps this season. Jay Blackberry. Probably the best kick in the TSL, Jay Blackberry. He goes on that wonderful left shoe, just a little poker inside 50, but it favours the Bombers, and it's well taken by Ed Stanley. Hands it off to the run of McGuinness. Out further for Wiggins. Down the wing it travels. Oh, it's a good ball over the top, but it's not well taken at all by Lumatsis, and it will be a Blues ball as he dealt with his opponent in the process. He threw away Jack Donnellan, and Jack Donnellan will take this kick. In the broadcast wing here at Windsor Park, a little kick down the line. looking for Aganis. It falls okay for Franklin. Nudges it into the path of a teammate. That teammate was Scott Hill. He's back in the forward 50 for Launceston though, and Blackberry might just pounce. He has a look at it, can't pick it up. It's won by Fife. Hands off, finds Franklin. Has a look at a couple and then opts to go down the line looking for Roberts.
Something off the ball though.
He was collected after the fact, I think, there, Anthony. And it'll be a downfield free kick. Roberts to McManus. He's having a tremendous season, Robbie McManus. Really is the link player for the Bombers. He hands this one off and it's a long booming boot. Looking for Boscott, being quiet early doors. Picked up by McGuinness, hands off. Looking for his skipper, I think there. No, it's Ray Hill. Battling through with Smith. Does well, finds Boscott. Can he create something? It's a tumbling punt inside 50. It's picked up by Lumatsis. He has a shot and it's offline.
Down the boundary, welcome to Adam Child. Warnie, what do you got for us down there?
Yeah, g'day Dave. Yeah, just having a look at Sam Lonigan, who did come off very, very groggy just before. He's still seated on the bench and be interested to see whether he's right to go back on again because he didn't look too good at all and he's not too happy either.
No worries, Warnie. We'll get you there at quarter time. Thanks for that report as the ball comes up towards the half-back flank for the Blues. Savage couldn't take the mark. He tackles Stanley to the ground. There'll be a ball up about 80 metres out from the Lauderdale goal. Just reminding you, we're simulcasting today on the radio as well as the live stream, so if we're stating the obvious sometimes, it's because we're catering also for our radio listeners as well. As from the stoppage, here's Gillow now. Kick 4 here a few weeks ago against Gnorkey. Gets the handball to Polfyman. He gets it to Blackberry. Here they go, the Blues. Funny old punt up towards attacking 50. It clears Whiting. Here's Clevercamp. He takes the ball now. Whiting attacks him, but he still gets the kick away. It spills out of bounds. Get a throw in. Just the attacking side of the wing for the Blues. It's 117 apiece here at Windsor Park. Listening to 103.7 and 96.5 City Park Radio. Dave Mohr, Damian Gill and Anthony Osborn, also via the TSL live stream. Boundary throw in. Conditions are fine, if not a little bit chilly. Comes to the front from Hayden Smith, picked up by Leedham, the opposing ruckman. Gillow around the corner. Kick to advantage. Here's Connor Smith. He's up against Hill there. Hill tackles the ground. That's Scott Hill. And tackled without the ball was Joey Boyce. He'll have the free kick. No, it's going to go the other way, is it? No. I got it right the first time. It's Joey Boyce.
Shouldn't doubt yourself, Dave.
I shouldn't. As he kicks inside 50, looking for Whiting on the lead. Oh, usually he gobbles those up. He misses it. Ben McGuinness gets it out. Here they go now, the Lauderdale defence. Short kick towards Ed Stanley. Plays on straight away. Wish Wilson, is it? He gets tackled. He'll be holding the ball. Ethan Wish Wilson. Good tackle there by Jimmy Aganis, who's might be too far out to score, the young man. So he gives it off. That's kicked inside 50 there by Denellen. It's off hands. It should spill out of bounds. It does. About 10 metres around from the Launceston goal. Jimmy Aganis, former Deloraine player, back in TSL level this year. Now what have we got here? Umpire's got his hand raised.
It's a blood rule or...
Yeah,
I'm not sure
what's happening there.
on.
Boundary thrown right next to the behind post. Blues deep in attack. Up goes Aganis. Tries to get it down. It's taken by Wish Wilson. He kicks outside defensive 50 and does it well to Clinton Brown, the veteran. He wheels and goes short here, looking for Sutton, who rises high and takes the mark in front of Hutchison. Plays on straight away, looking for Tutai. Oh, he almost had purchase on that. Well done, Savage. Savage to Brown. Gets around skillfully. Casey Brown. Beautiful kick, if you don't mind. He doesn't quite hit the target to Gillow. Falls behind Smith. He can't take it. Here's Heavey, the goal kicker. Oh, he gets into trouble. Heavey's tackled by Hutchison. Out of bounds on the full. There'll be a free kick to the Blues right on centre wing. It's 117 apiece here at Windsor Park.
Scrappy old ball game so far, Dave.
Absolutely.
It's Blackberry, just a dinky kick over the top, looking for Nunn. He takes a good mark and hands off immediately. Finds Hutchinson, who gets it moving. A little kick out in front of Ruller Kelly Mansell, who's been quiet so far, and he can only help it over the boundary line. So a throw in just inside forward 50 on the broadcast side of things here at Windsor Park. The score is 117 Launceston, 117 Lauderdale. A tight game. Thrown in. It's Wish Wilson and Nunn. Wish Wilson with a decisive hand. Down for the run of Sutton. Handed off from Roberts. In for Fife. He finds Walsh, who plays on, but then decided he didn't want to. Too late, Brycey. He gets it moving. Finds Franklin. Looking for Hervea. Eludes him and it's picked up by Brown. He's crunched in a tackle but copped high. So he'll get another crack at things with a free kick.
Tassie Mariner Casey Brown, Gilly is having a good season.
He's had a good season indeed. Just down the line, he finds Jake Smith. So Smith on centre wing, a nudgy little ball inside. It's well gathered in the end by Brendan Taylor. He gets it off and finds Boyce, but Boyce had no idea where he was. He was caught in a tackle immediately.
Has the umpire called play on here? That's the question.
No, he's called 50. He looked off, I thought, Anthony.
I thought so as well. Thor certainly had his eyes straight on the man. It was a very good tackle, but obviously the umpire adjudicated the other way.
So it'll be Joe Boyce from a very kickable range here. What would you say, about 30-odd metres?
He's
left of screen.
Played most of his early days as a forward, Gilly.
So Joe Boyce wanders on in, look confident off the boot, and that's why. Straight through the sticks. And it's a goal for Launceston. They take the advantage here at Windsor Park. 2-1-13. Lauderdale 1-1-7. 20 gone.
Yeah, well, just feels as if Lauderdale's had a lot of the play, but haven't capitalised, and Launceston have done well with their inside 50 opportunities, Anthony.
Yeah, absolutely. In the first minute or so, it all was down Lauderdale's end, but Launceston just kind of getting a little bit of control over the game at the moment. Quite interesting to see. You can't still actually see Ryan Wiggins in the forward line. It looks like he is still playing more of a defensive role today.
Yeah, interesting one. As we talked about Launceston backline being their vulnerability, you'd think they'd have Wiggins up there, but anyway.
They've opted for Alex Hill, who's usually in the defensive half.
There's Aganis up against Tutaiavea. Ball spills to the front of the pack to Gillo. Good hands to Rundle. Rundle inside 50. That's Ruller, rises high, he gets back onto it as Ruller. Inside out, left foot kick for goal. Ruller, Kelly Mansell! Raise his fist to the air. That's a good goal from Ruller. That's the third goal on the board for the Blues. 3-1-19, Lauderdale 1-1-7. And great movement out of the middle there from the Blues.
Tremendous movement, and that's Ruller Kelly Mansell right there, isn't he? He's such an exciting player. He can just, if he gets space and half a sniff a goal, more times than not, he'll put them away, and that was a lovely kick off the outside of the boot. So Launceston looking the better team now as the game's settled.
He won't tear you apart with a number of possessions, Ruller, but it's what he does with it. He's just a team lifter. He's an adrenaline player. Some weeks he goes missing. He probably admit himself he didn't have a great week last week, but when he's on, wow, he's the most entertaining player in the TSL.
Just a couple of weeks ago, he kicked 7-7, so that's how damaging he can be. Aganis and Havea. Aganis down, running through his boss Scott, and he looks a man on a mission. He gets it moving out of the square, looking for Alex Hill. Good clunk from Hill. Hands it off for Bryce Walsh. Inside, a little pokey kick. Looking for Roberts. He can't quite bring it under his spell. It's picked up by Lumatsis. Looking for Roberts again. Hands it off for McManus. Off his boot and away from him. It's going the wrong way for Lauderdale. Tries to pick it up. Donnellan hands it off. A good tackle coming from Stanley there, and it's helped out. And it will be a Launceston ball. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. So it's a kick out of defence. And well taken. Inside looking for Aganis and Bryce Walsh. He was highly favoured there, Aganis, but Walsh did well with body. Got it off Sutton. A tumbling punt inside 50. It's well claimed by Hutchinson. Gets it out. Finds an ally. And away it goes through Shepherd. Shepherd, long ball, just on the edge of the square. It's picked up well by Connor Smith. Through traffic, finds Aganis. He sells a bit of candy, but then gives it to the opposition. Away McGuinness goes, finds Stanley. If he can find Ray Hill, he had a bit of space. It was a shocker of a kick. It might sell him into trouble. Back for Clinton Brown, a late in to this Lauderdale side. He picks it up, he's in trouble. But the umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt, and it's a ball up inside the square. So some sloppy skills on either end of the equation there as Aganis does well to get in position, finds the opposition in McGuinness through traffic. It's well done by Gillo. Gets it out looking for Ruller Kelly Mansell. Just swats it away. Is picked up by Aganis. He's everywhere, the big fella. Hands it off. And it's now with Kelly Mansell from the left pocket. He looks at goal and he says, I'll help myself. Ruller Kelly Mansell on fire here at Windsor Park. Another one for Big Ruller. And Launceston are on the march. 4-1-25, 1-1-7, 23 and a bit gone.
Darren Winter must be filthy, boys, about how they got a 3-on-1 contest there. I mean, for the moment, you could see the 3-on-1 happening. You thought, chain of handballs here, and it's going to be a goal. And sure enough, Ruller, just once again, fantastic shot for goal. If he gets space and time, anywhere within the 50 is a chance.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
4-1-25, Launceston, Lauderdale 1-1-7. 2 goals to Ruller, Kelly, Mansell. The Blues have kicked the last 4 goals of the game after Alex Heavey kicked the first for Lauderdale. Ball up in the centre square once again. Leadham falls on top of his head. It's taken away by Boscott. Hasn't had much to do so far. Boscott up to attacking 50. Mark taken by Clinton Brown. He's clear now. He gets it in short. And the mark's taken by that's Ray Hill with the green boots. Raymond Hill. He's about 45 out when he delivers. 45-degree angle. Big opportunity here for the second goal for Lauderdale.
He's been a very lively player this year, Ray Hill. He's really stepped up, and it's been a very handy goal sneak for the Bombers. The Bombers will be desperate for him to finish this off.
Raymond Hill from 45, close to the man on the mark, delivers. It's coming back nicely. It's a second goal on the board for Lauderdale. To Ray Hill, they're 2-1-13. Launceston 4-1-25. Gilly.
Beautiful finish there from Raymond Hill. It just snuck in, just the right side of the right post. So a important goal for Lauderdale. They just don't want Launceston to kick away by too much. 2-goal advantage at the moment. And Launceston had all the momentum, so a good one against the flow of play here at Windsor Park. Sun beaming in.
I'll get you a temperature update in a second.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a temperature update. My toes are feeling it. So ball back in the middle, and it'll be Leadham and Smith. All the prime movers around it. McGuinness in the middle again. That is a shocker of a bounce.
7.7 degrees, Damian.
Oh, 7 point. Yeah, it's gone up a little bit.
It has.
So throw up this time, the right option. It's won by Smith, but goes straight to Powerfreeman. He's brought down by Fife, but he'll have another crack. Powerfreeman, he breaks away from Fife's clutch this time. Gets it out on the far side and finds Connor Smith, who moves it inside 50. A telling mark, a good one from Bell Chambers. Takes it for the Dale to Sutton, who's on the move. Out for Clevercamp. He's been quiet. It'll go to Smith. He's not favoured in this contest. The more mobile Jake Smith takes it and hands it off for Joe Boyce. A nice kick down the line. He's found Big
Gillo's
Leadham.
over the top.
Over the top. He finds that man Gillo. He'll have a look at goal from the left side of things. Never really looked like it. Stayed left from the moment it came off the boot. And a minor score for Launceston. They lead here at Windsor Park, 4-2-26. Lauderdale 2-1-13. Dying embers of the first term.
Kick out from full back now. It's out of bounds. Yeah, boundary throw in. About 70 metres around from the Launceston goal. They lead by 13 points here at Windsor Park. It's been a bit of a scrambly first quarter. Been some good passages of play, some good highlights. 2 great goals from Ruller. One of the big highlights from this first term. As Leadham does beautifully to Powerfreeman. Powerfreeman gets some space. He gets handled off to Connor Smith from 30 out. Connor Smith on the left has put it through. Great team play there from the Blues. Generated by good ruck work to Powerfreeman. Then Connor Smith got clear. He's had a good first term, Connor Smith. It's 5-2-32. Launceston Lauderdale 2-1-13.
Lauderdale with a bit of work to do here at Windsor Park. Powerfreeman's been sensational when he's had a bit of space. A really crafty player, and just assessed his options well there. Could have blazed away, but just took the time to nudge it inside, and Connor Smith made no mistake.
He's got that burst of speed, hasn't he, Anthony? Just when he gets out of congestion, he just puts on the afterburners and gets out of trouble and gets the ball to advantage.
Absolutely, and some clean use of skill there. Just got them out of trouble and set up a fantastic goal.
So Leadham with a decisive tap the right way for Launceston. It's Nunn who just gets it on boot. A good mark taken by Scott Hill, one of 3 Hills in the Lauderdale side. Gets it out and finds Sutton. A good mark from Sutton, like he often likes to do. Gets it moving. Fife, the little fella, gets up but can't take the mark. McGuinness in traffic, hands out for Smith. It's a shocker of a handball and sells Sutton into all sorts of trouble. He paddles it the way of Franklin. Good shepherd from Wiggins. Helps them negotiate a tricky situation there. Smith gets it moving, looking for Bryce Walsh. finds an opposing player in Chris Savage instead, and the siren sounds on a good first term for the hosts. Launceston with the advantage here. 5 goals to 2 in a dominant first half. 5 goals to 32 lead Lauderdale, 2 goals 1-13.
Anthony, you got the goal kickers there for us?
I do. So for Launceston, 2 fantastic goals from Rella Kelly-Mansell, also singles to Connor Smith, Brodie Palfreyman and Joy Boyce. And for Lauderdale, Alex Heavey with the opening goal of the game and a fantastic set shot from Raymond Hill as well.
Wasn't what we expected, Gilly. No, we thought it'd be a close contest, but credit to the Blues. They've come to play and they've taken it right up to Lauderdale, and apart from probably the first 5 minutes or so, they've had the upper hand.
They have, and their skills have been better than Lauderdale for mine. There was a couple of patches early where Lauderdale were really crisp and clean, but outside of that, I think Launceston have used it a lot better, and the prime movers of like the work of Brendan Taylor and Brodie Palfreyman, and as you said before, it's been a good turn from Connor Smith, who finished off that last goal. Rella Kelly-Mansell, one of those players, he didn't get near the ball early doors in that first term, but then got a sniff, and then he gets his tail up and he kicked another one. So a warning there for Lauderdale. They'll have to shut him out. But Sonny Whiting's been quiet, so they can find another gear, Launceston. But Lauderdale with a bit of work to do at Windsor Park.
Quarter time here at Windsor Park. It's Launceston 5-2-32 leading Lauderdale 2-1-13. We'll have some messages from City Park Radio, and for our live stream listeners, we'll take a short break here from Windsor Park. To 32 Launceston, Lauderdale 2-1-13, and major goal kicker for the Blues is Rella Kelly-Mansell with 2. Interesting contest. We talked about the standard of the game sort of halfway through that quarter being a little bit congested and scrambly, but certainly it opened up, and the Blues had the better of it in that second half of that first quarter.
Yeah, no question, and as I was saying just before the break, it was courtesy of their strong ball movement. I think they've been better by foot than Lauderdale. We've got some stats here, Dave, that might just paint that picture. What have we got there?
Certainly kicks are fairly even. Launceston 48, Lauderdale 53. Handballs, Lauderdale 30 and to Launceston 25. 30 marks to Lauderdale to Launceston 13. Tackles, 17 tackles so far for Launceston. Inside 50s are interesting. They get 16-7 in the favour of the Blues.
Yeah, so they've had less of the ball, but that paints the picture quite accurately, actually. Lauderdale overusing it and struggling to get it out of congestion, and Launceston a lot crisper and cleaner moving forward.
As far as possession winners are concerned, we'll just stress that thanks very much to Damian Donnelly and also the team there of the Launceston Stats guys, who only do the individual stats for their players, which is understandable. So for the Blues so far, James Gillow with 9 possessions, Joey Boyce with 8, Palfreyman, the best man on the ground so far for mine, with 8, Connor Smith with 6, Brendan Taylor with 6 also. So some good gains from those two players as well.
Yeah, they've got good service out of their mid so far, but good to see young James Gillow laid in today and making it count so far.
Certainly. Who do you think have been in the post so far for the Bombers there, Anthony?
Yeah, I think early on Alex Heavey seemed to be involved in everything, but I think Josh McGuinness out of the back half has done some pretty tidy things. The likes of Fife, Franklin and Bryce Welsh probably haven't quite had the influence they would have wanted, but they have been around the contest and certainly putting in quite a bit of effort for them.
Down the boundary we've got Warney. As the siren sounds a second time. What do you got for us, Warney?
Yeah, just come out of the Lauderdale huddle. They're still going at the moment. Darren Winter not happy with a few things there at the moment. The things they need to fix around the stoppages and just definitely manning up is where they're at and shutting down their spread, what's going on. And they are very disappointed with the free kicks, meaning that they've been a bit undisciplined as it has been as they're breaking up now. And we do have a couple of apprentices here on the boundary line with us. We've got Jack Hardy and Daniel Christie who have just been with the Launceston huddle. What do we get out of that, Daniel?
Yeah, I've just been over to the Launceston huddle. It's pretty clear and obvious that Sam Lonigan is still groggy on the bench. So Darren Gear's actually taken over the huddle and he's been talking a lot about frontal pressure and really moving the ball, getting positive and getting behind each other. Jack, yeah, more on the frontal pressure kind of aspect of it. What are your thoughts?
They really need to control the aggression when they go facing the player in front. Also with the frontal pressure, if they need to put their head over the ball a lot harder. Darren Geard really wasn't happy with that. And also when the players were in their individual huddles for forward, backward line and midfield, Sam Rundle wasn't happy with not enough leads coming out of the forward line. So they're really going to have to pick up that Launceston.
There we go. So very busy at the huddles there at quarter time, and we've got a great second quarter ahead of us now.
Cheers, Warney. Is it still cold down there?
Yeah, it is still chilly. A little bit of a breeze heading towards the city, and I probably need to come and grab your ski gloves that are sitting on the desk up there for you, Dave.
Come and get them, mate. All yours. Thanks, Warney. Second quarter action. Here's Damian Gill.
Up goes the bounce and it favours Smith. He gets it down and then wins his own footy. He's wrapped up in a ferocious tackle going nowhere. So it'll be a case of a rinse and repeat right in the middle of the ground here, just hugging the bullseye. Lead him down, looking for a runner there in Rundle. Doesn't find him as the ball is won by Franklin and he's tackled.
Quick score from Brunson Arena, Gilly. Clarence 3-2-20, Devonport 1-2-8.
Handed out. It's won by Ben McGuinness. No, it isn't, but Franklin there to hopefully mop up for the Bombers. On hands and knees, he's collected. And he'll get a free kick for his troubles. It was Leadham who came in late. Scored a piece of Franklin. The ferocious player, Leadham. Real aggressive around the ball. So Nat Franklin, one of the emerging players in the competition in 2017. He's having his number taken. Must be for the incident involving Leadham just there. So interesting. A report. I'm not sure exactly what went on. I thought he just caught a little bit of Franklin high, but a number taken as the ball's kicked out wide to the right. It's picked up by Cleaver Camp. A good-looking shoe from Cleaver Camp. Goes long, looking for Alex Hill. Does his best to try and keep it alive, but has run over and out for a throw-in. Far wing here at Windsor Park. So it'll be thrown back in and Leadham and Smith again to do battle. Up it goes. Leadham in best position. Hands it down. They try and wrestle it out, Launceston, but it's Lauderdale who emerge with it. Just shoveled away by McManus for Bell Chambers and then to Scott Hill. Does well in traffic with a turn. It comes to Boscott. Evades one in Agarnis. Gets it on the boot. It's a shocker of a kick. Never gave Roberts a sniff there. And Raleigh Kelly Mansell at the opposite end to what he's used to. Finds the ball. Moves it well. Finds Tyrrell. Gets it off, handed nicely by Shepherd. Finds a runner in Dunellen. Goes long, looking for Leadham. He just whacks it on the boot. Raleigh Kelly Mansell's work back to the forward line. Finds a Garnis. There's a tumbly little punt. He's collected. Clever Camp doesn't get it out at forward 50. It finds Kelly Mansell. He gets it to Rundle. He goes back looking for Palfreyman. Off the boot. It's collected by Wiggins, deep in defence for Lauderdale. Interesting to see him operate there.
Wiggins out of defence, kicks up here towards Walsh. Can't take it on first grab, right in front of us here. Takes it on the second grab. Now he's tackled here. Is he going to be caught holding the ball? Yes, he is. Not enough effort to get it out. Gang tackled there. Jake Smith will win the free kick. As Bryce Walsh gingerly gets off the turf. And you probably hear that in effects, Mike. The old what came out there from Bryce Walsh. Probably a fair call, though. He had the ball a long time. Here's Smith. Ugly old kick to the advantage of Aganis. He can't pick it up on the half volley. Taken by Franklin. Look away handball. Wiggins out now to Big Hayden Smith. Gets the handball away now to Heavey. Heavey further afield now to Boscott. He's got a bit of space over there. One bounce, two bounce. He's heading over to the far side of the ground. He stops, he props, he kicks back in the middle. Mark not taken. Here's a chance now for McManus. Kicks up towards the wing. Mark not taken there by, that's Alex Hill. Taken by Connor Smith, but that's chopped off there by McManus. He plays on straight away. Kick close to the boundary. It's a good kick though, and Jordan Roberts takes the mark. Had a great game last week. Kicks inside 50, Jordan Roberts. It's a contest. Falls to the back. There's Stuart Williams. He's in trouble. Stewie Williams. Is he going to be caught holding the ball? Play on, says the umpire. No, he doesn't. Well, no, it was a high tackle. Well, blow me down with that one. I thought he was caught red-handed with the ball there. Stewie Williams, a very lucky man. He kicks short now to Savage on the defensive side of the centre square. And the veteran Chris Savage will settle things down for the Blues. He goes laterally looking for Taylor, somewhat dangerously, but Taylor does well. Takes the mark. Good first quarter, Brendan Taylor. 7 possessions. Goes short now to Nunn, who takes the mark in front of Wish Wilson. They're still on half-back flank, though, on the right-hand side of the ground for the Blues. Listening to City Park Radio and the TSL live stream. Rising high there was Ben McGuinness. Illegally, says the umpire. Arola Kelly Mansell will take the free kick. Kicked 2 goals in that first quarter. If you just joined us, it's the Blues 32 leading Lauderdale 13. We're about 5 minutes into the second quarter. Kick by Arola Kelly Mansell, not a good one. And chopping it out once again is Robbie McManus. Hands straight away to Wiggins, and Wiggins will clear to the far side of the ground.
And that's where he heads, looking for Alex Hill, but it's well claimed by Williams, who turns and burns. Just a nudgy little kick. Finds Powerfreeman. He assesses his options. A crowded forward 50. He goes long and looking for Nunn. It falls over the back socket off the deck. It trickles along and out of play. Out for a throw deep in the forward 50 for Launceston. So it'll be thrown in. Launceston looking to add a 6 there. In it goes, Zaganis and Wiggins. Wiggins gets the tap, but it comes to Kelly Mansell, who's claimed straight away, loses it, comes to Blackberry, and he's wrapped up in a Fife tackle. It will be another ball up.
Just a little bit happening off the ball here at the moment between McGuinness and it started off Ben McGuinness and Kelly Mansell. They're all just seeming to show a little bit at the moment. There might be a free kick given as well. No, ball goes up.
Zaganis down, looking for the run of Boyce. Finds it, hands out for Nunn. It comes to Powerfreeman. He's got red and black all around him. Eventually it's claimed by Sutton. He's tackled nicely. It was a good tackle. It'll be a ball up.
Good pressure there from Lauderdale. Both Boyce and Powerfreeman, if they got clear, they could have had a shot on goal, but pressure was too much.
The ball comes up. Boscott and Aganis, of all people. It's swatted clear and won by Tyrrell. He tries to hand it to a fellow Blue, but it comes to Lauderdale. Franklin swung around by Dunellen. And it's moving on, as you've just pointed out, Anthony, a bit going on behind the play. Talk us through it.
Yeah, quite a bit going on. The umpire's trying to stop it, but there's about 6 players involved at the moment. Umpire's trying his best to put a stop to it, but the players seem to have other plans at the moment.
There's no surprise that Ruller is right in the middle of it.
Ruller, Kelly Mansell and Ben McGuinness. He's a fiery type as well. Don't worry about that, Ben McGuinness. So at the other end of the ground, where all the action's going on, it's Blackberry.
Yep.
Out he goes. He finds an option in Jake Smith, who hands it off and down the line. It's a tumbling punt that favours the Bombers through Bell Chambers. An interesting kick inside. Makes it hard work for Roberts, but he's up to the task. Passes it down the far wing. Finds Hill all on his own. Plenty of space to cut a pass. Finds McGuinness, does he? Or does the boundary line beat him? McGuinness juggles it over, says the umpire. No, they've reversed that, so it'll be out on the full. Bit of confusion. A few whistles.
Might have a blood rule, do we?
Yeah, I think a bit chaotic here. I think maybe the umpires and a few of the players are rattled by a bit going on at the other end, Dave.
Yeah, certainly Rullery, he's a bit of a pest when it comes to these sort of games. He likes to sort of get in the ear of the opposition and
So ball comes long down the wing, favours Lauderdale, but somehow Launceston emerge with it. It was well cut off by Sutton. Hands out, finds Bell Chambers. A little ball down the line, finds Heavey. So Heavey, about 70 from goal, and it's well cut off and well stopped by Vandervelde.
Boundary thrown on the far side. We've been playing about 9 minutes in the second quarter. Not very much at all has happened. In fact, we haven't had a score, I don't think, Gilly, in this second quarter. So it's a bit of a stalemate. The Blues still lead by 19 points. In fact, no score this quarter. So the kick now goes forward for Lauderdale into the pocket again. That same pocket. It's out and it's bounds on the full once again. And it'll be a free kick, relieving kick to Ryan Tyrrell. He's played a bit with the Tassie Mariners this year. Back in the Blues side. The long sleeves. He goes short. He has an option there, and James Gillow takes the mark a millimetre inside of the boundary line. Gillow shading his eyes from the sun, which is going lower now on the horizon. As it gets it to Thomas Shepherd. That's close to the line as well. In fact, it's over. Tutai Avea got it right. He suggested the umpire it was out of bounds on the full, and it was. So free kick to Tutai. He's just the attacking side of the wing. He decides to go backwards though, and he finds a teammate there for Lauderdale in Scott Hill. Scott Hill goes laterally, finds Ethan Wilson. He goes on straight away, kicks short. It bounces in front of a teammate who picks it up. Here they go again. This is Fife. Fife gets the handball to Ethan Wilson. He's got Cleaver Camp. He wants him. He hesitates. Has to go back to Fife. Fife, little dinky kick up in the air. It's a good one, though, to advantage. And the mark's taken there by Ed Stanley, who goes towards attacking 50. Rising high. That's a good mark. Taken back there. I think that's Sammy Rundle. It is indeed. Sam Rundle in defence. Goes short to Leadham, the big ruckman. Tasmania representative this year for the TSL. Oh, he goes off his mark. He almost gets his kick smothered as the poise, though, to go a second time up towards Jake Smith. Spills the mark, gets the spillage. On right half forward, goes short here, looking for the advantage of none. He's got players on hot on his hammer, so he gets it back to Smith. Handball over the top now, looking for Whiting. Sonny Whiting likes these sort of situations. Kicks to the goal square. Not a good kick on this occasion. It falls in the goal square, and the mark's taken by Ryan Wiggins.
Ryan Wiggins with the ball in defence for Lauderdale. A little kick finds Stanley, and he'll be stopped in his tracks. Not a heap offering. Looks out to the right and finds Fife, who's getting busy with it. Off for Wiggins, a longer boot this time, looking out there for Ray Hill. He can't juggle the footy. It's picked up by the Blues through Shepherd. Tries to hand it to a teammate, but there's body flying left, right and centre. They'll come out with it though, the Blues, and it's well worked, and it'll find Rundle here just at the top of the 50. He's outworked by Bryce Walsh, handed off from Scott Hill. There for, who have we got there? It's Bell Chambers who goes to Havea. It's a vacant 50 for Lauderdale, and it's Boscott all on his own. A good Shepherd coming, and Boscott can stroll on in and put through the first of the second term, and that's what he does, Thor Boscott. It was good movement from Lauderdale, fast stuff through the centre corridor, and well finished off by Thor Boscott.
Down to the boundary, got Warney. What do you got for us down there, Warney?
Guinness is just going back on the ground after coming off with the blood rule. He's cleaned up pretty quickly there, and Jack's been over for a little bit of Sam Lonigan watch.
Yeah, just walked over to the Launceston benches and looked at Sam Lonigan. He looks a bit more comfortable there sitting down, having a talk to the runners, but he doesn't look like he's in any state to come back on and play.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, boys on the boundary. Yeah, they're pretty cautious these days, aren't they, Gilly, with the concussion situation? They're not going to take any risks.
No, if he wasn't in at the huddle at quarter time, I think that paints a picture that Sammy Lonigan's day's done, which makes Launceston's fast start even more impressive.
That's right, back in the centre. Great goal from Boscott. Good team play there from the Bombers from deep in defence. Here's Boyce now. He wheels around the back edge of the centre circle, gets a kick nicely to Connor Smith. Had a good first quarter. A bit quieter in the second quarter so far. He plays on. Left foot to the advantage. He tries to get the advantage. Not a great kick. And it's chopped out there by Bell Chambers. In fact, it's Heavey. He takes the mark there across half-back. He goes wider. Finds Nat Franklin on the right half-back flank. Not a bad crowd in today here at Windsor Park. Kick towards Stanley. He can't take the mark. Gets on the half volley. He gets up and running. Gets a handball away to Fife. Fife to Heavey. Heavey gets a handball forward. It's not a good one. It's taken by Palfreyman. Palfreyman gets a handball backwards towards Tyrrell. His kick smothered by Havea. Ricochets back towards attacking 50. They're on now here with Boscott. Boscott kicks up towards the advantage here of a Lauderdale teammate who takes the mark. That's Corey Laumsis, who's going to shoot for goal from about 15 metres out, directly in front. Great vision for Boscott.
Beautiful from Boscott. And we've seen in the last couple of passages what Boscott brings to the table. And worrying signs for Launceston here at Windsor Park. Laumsis will go back and put this through.
For 2 in a row for the Bombers. Corey Laumsis directly in front. And he makes no mistake, does he? Yes, it's straight into the netting. Goal to the Lauderdale Bombers. That's their second of this second quarter. It's 4-1-25, trailing Launceston 5-2-32. They're back in it, Anthony.
Absolutely, and just as you mentioned, Gilly, before, some fantastic couple of minutes from Thor Boscott there. Kicks a goal himself and then sets up his teammate, and it is certainly something that the Bombers have missed, particularly last week. He's come back from suspension and certainly makes this Bomber outfit a more dangerous side.
He does. Playing forward of centre or playing in the middle. He's a tough match-up, Thor Boscott, and we're seeing that at the moment. Well finished off by Lampsis. Quick ball movement, winning the day, and Tute Havea's smother there. That's what really set it up.
Yep.
So, ball back in the middle. Leadham and Smith goes the way of Leadham. Not a convincing hit out. Comes for Franklin. Hands it off for Bill Chambers. Does well, finds Franklin again outside the square. He goes looking for McManus. A high kick, asked plenty of him. He's beaten in the air. The ball still out on the far side here. Handed out. McManus emerges with it. A smothered kick might just fall for Stanley. He does well, gets round one, hands it, looking for Havea. As seen out on the far side by Williams.
Interesting now the midfield situation, Gilly, with Corey Shepherd out of the selected side and now Lonergan off. Just, 2 less players to rotate through that middle for Launceston.
And we talked off the start that that's probably their trump card, that they've got a lot of numbers to run through the middle. And they've lost that trump card a little bit as the ball's thrown in. Not one convincingly either way, but it's Franklin who emerges with it. It's a good kick for Boscott, who comes out and claims it, and he's off straight away and puts it through. Thor Boscott tearing this game apart at Windsor Park. 5-2-32 Launceston, 5-1-31 Lauderdale. Just a point in it. 15 minutes gone here in the second quarter.
Yeah, well, he had a quiet first quarter, Anthony, didn't he, Thor? But the last 3 scores, 2 goals himself and 1 assist.
Absolutely, and just showing every part of his game, essentially. He showed his speed, he showed his aggression, and a fantastic contested grab there as well. Yeah, he's really put Lauderdale right back in this match.
He certainly has. It's 1 point the difference. Launceston haven't scored so far in some 16 minutes of this second quarter. And it's no panic stations yet, but they'd want a couple of goals just to get their ascendancy back. But Lauderdale are now charging. They've got on top in the midfield, around the clearances. Nice high bounce by the umpire. Knocked down by Smith on the head of Aganis. Here they go again. Ed Stanley over the top to Fife. Give and go with Stanley on the attacking side of the centre square. Kicks deep, but well marked there by Simon van der Velde. The boy from Launceston Christian School, he plays on now. He goes short, and taking the mark there is Jay Blackberry. Blackberry goes wider, looking there for Stewie Williams. Takes the mark. Still inside defensive 50. Slow, patient build up here for the Blues. Further up the wing. Looking for Rundle, who takes the mark. He's taken a couple of great clunks this quarter. No doubt about it. As he goes sideways over towards Savage. Dangerous kick. Savage tackled by Brown to the ground. Umpire sees it as no prior opportunity. It'll be a ball up. Went right half forward for Lauderdale. They trail by a point. 3rd versus 5th here. TSL action on the City Park Radio and the TSL live stream. Smith does well, gets a knock away. Chain of handballs ends up here with Stanley. He handballs inside attacking 50 aimlessly. Taken by Casey Brown. Not a great handball. McManus. He might have been in the back there of Smith, was he? That's what the umpire going to say. It's came back to where the handball came from. It's going to Casey Brown.
I think it might have been Clint Brown that got into him. So
the Brown boys involved. Casey Brown, a great batter with Jay Bowden here early in the year when they played against Glenorchy. Oh, it's a short kick, not a great one. Oh, luck's of fortune there for Chrissy Savage. What do you think, Gilly? A little bit soft?
Yeah, I think he's lucky there. I thought Bill Chambers timed it well. As it's picked up by Brown, goes long. Blackberry loses his footing, and it favours Ben McGuinness, who finds Franklin. The kick probably not meant for Smith, but he'll take it anyway. Out onto the far wing it goes. It's picked up by Ray Hill, straight off the bench. Good kick, finds Havea. They move it nicely down that right-hand side. It's picked up by Havea. A kick inside 50, looking for the danger man. Boscott over his head and out of play. Bryce Walsh looking to pounce, but runs out of grass and out for a throw.
Bombers looking really lively the past couple of minutes. Some really important goals in this second term have put them back within 1 point. Launceston yet to score in this second quarter.
Clarence 5-6-36, Devonport 1-4-10 at Blunston Arena.
The ball's thrown in. It's a Gunnison Smith. It's won by the Bombers and out now for Sutton, I think it is, deep in the forward pocket. He fashions a shot, but never looked like going through or behind. But Lauderdale with all the scoring in this second term. All square here at Windsor Park. 5-2-32 apiece between Launceston and Lauderdale.
As the short kick comes out to Jake Smith in the back pocket. Takes his time. Will be invited to play on now by the umpire. Walsh approaches him on the mark, but he gets the kick away. It's a high one up here looking for Williams. Falls nicely to Brennan Taylor, who darts away up here towards none. Well intercepted there by Ben McGuinness. To the front of the pack. Here's Bell Chambers with strength. Kicks inside 50. Boscott again. Rises high, doesn't take the mark. Over the back is Tyrrell. Chance here for Lauderdale. It's right against the boundary line. Ray Hill sees it out. Boundary throw in, but the excitement there of Boscott, I thought he was going to take it again, Gilly.
Yeah, so did I. He rose high enough. He just didn't quite time it, did he? He was coming down by the time the ball was coming up. But Lauderdale eyeing off their sixth here.
Boundary throw in. Jimmy Aganis up against Hayden Smith. Two ex-Storm players against each other. It's knocked towards Havea. He might get a snap on goal. He does. It's not a good one. But three for a behind, and that's a significant one because it puts Lauderdale in front here at Windsor Park. 5-3-33, Launceston 5-2-32. 20 minutes into the second quarter.
So to be brought back in by Tyrrell, a short little kick. And you'll find a teammate in Shepherd back there. Down the line, it's an absolute shocker. He was looking for Brendan Taylor, but it went straight out of play and out of bounds on the full. So given the ball straight to Lauderdale, and they're on the surge at the moment. It'll go to Dylan Fife, who's a crafty player with ball in hand. The pocket rocket just nudges inside and finds Alex Hill, who might just try his best effort from about 45. Tough angle on the left side. Broadcast wing here at Windsor Park. Alex Hill usually plays in defence. As a junior, was a forward for the Bombers though. Oh, he never looked like it. Handed off for Wiggins. The designated kicker goes boom from 50 and puts it through. Ryan Wiggins. Beautiful finish for the Bombers. And they lead by 7 points here at Windsor Park. 5-2-32. Launceston, Lauderdale 6-3-39.
Trailed by 19 at quarter time, now lead by 7. Launceston have been marooned on 5-2-32, and they're just winning the clearances, aren't they, Gilly? Their midfield's got on top. They're looking dangerous up forward. Danger signs for the Blues.
Danger signs indeed, and Ryan Wiggins playing in defence today, but probably just caught napping there, Launceston. The designated kicker in Wiggins was just sitting there, and well done by Alex Hill. Disguised it well, and a big goal for the Bombers.
Aganis up against Smith. Smith gets this one down nicely towards Bell Chambers, but Blackberry's there. They're going to fight for the ball on the ground. Secondary ball up is imminent. It's going to happen. At half-time today, we've got Julie Kay, the president of the Lauderdale Footy Club, coming to chat to us about what's happening at Lauderdale Footy Club and things generally in the TSL. As Hayden Smith gets it down nicely again, this time to Franklin. He's dispossessed. Ball, says the crowd. It's knocked to the side of the pack here. Jake Smith can't pick it up. Could be costly as now Lauderdale come away through a chain of handballs. Ends up with Wiggins again. Off the left, awkward kick. Bryce Walsh in advantage there, but he can't quite take it. Bounces out of bounds. Left half forward for Lauderdale. Boundary throw in. As I said, not a bad crowd in. I think this is the biggest crowd we've had this year at Windsor Park for a North versus South game. And impressive amount of cars on the far side, as you'll probably see those that are viewing the live stream. Comes down from Smith towards Sutton. Quick kick off a step there from Launceston. Ends up with a Gannis to Thomas Shepherd. His kick's not a great one. Ends up here with Scott Hill. This way, that away on the left foot. Judges the kick nicely over the back. Oh, Launceston might have been held onto there by Dunellen. Blount says the umpire. Dunellen now might win out. He gets it as Jack Dunellen. Out there to Vandervelde. They're wrestling the ball rugby style towards the boundary line, hoping it will go over. It won't, but it might be a ball up instead. Umpire lets it go a long time. Eventually emerges, still by the boundary line here. And a player tackled over the boundary line. That's Heavey. It'll be a boundary throw in right on the 50-metre line. Been playing about 23 minutes. Probably 2 or 3 minutes to go in this second quarter. Boundary throw in. It's Smith and Aganis again. Smith wins the tap to Stanley. Stanley round the corner towards the goal square. Boscott bounces off his chest towards the boundary line. He recovers, gets handball away to Franklin. Franklin gets his arms free, tries to get it to Walsh. Errant handball, Walsh butters up, tries to get a kick for goal, can't do so. Blues defence, Smith, Blackberry off a step towards half back, but the mark's taken. Jordan Roberts puts his hand up and says, I'll have a shot, boys. And Gilly kicked a couple of good goals last week, didn't he?
Yeah, he was very good, Jordan Roberts. Kicked 4 for the day and probably only had 4 or 5 shots. So an opportunistic forward, Jordan Roberts, and he'll be looking to put this one away and give Lauderdale a nice advantage.
He'll deliver from about 45 on a 45-degree angle on the right-hand side. Windsor Park bathed in sunshine. Still a cool day, though, here in Launceston. Here he comes, Jordan Roberts, and he goes short, sneaky little kick, and he finds Boscott. Thor Boscott, he'll line up. He's probably going to be at 30 on the boundary line. What do you think of that move there, Gilly? Do you think
interesting. He hasn't improved the angle for them.
No, but
obviously the distance. I don't know. Do you fancy him from here, Anthony?
Well, the way he's played this quarter, I'd probably have to back him in, to be honest. He's been pretty electric. As he comes in now, very tight angle.
Thor Boscott, he's kicked 2 in this second quarter. This for goal number 3. Umpire moves too much to the right. 1 behind. 6-4-40 Lauderdale. Launceston 5-2-32.
So Lauderdale on top here at Windsor Park. The Launceston have the answers. They've been really struggled to get it out of this half of the ground for the bulk of this quarter. It's Blackberry. A cute little kick for Vandervelde. Loses his footing and makes it a tough one for him. There's Williams, who's crunched in a Bryce Walsh tackle. It comes out to Fife. He'll just get it on the left boot, looking for Hill, and it's off hands and through for a behind. So Fife very nearly got that one home, but couldn't quite steer it through. A kick taken by Dunellen, a quick one and a short one.
I think the half-time siren can't come soon enough for the Blues, Gilly.
They're 25 gone now. So from left to right they go. From Savage, picks out Williams on the far side there for the Blues. Williams, just a little kick down. Dunellen again with the ball. So nothing great offering for Dunellen. He'll just put a bit of height on it and go down the line and look for the big man of Leadham. Off hands. Lauderdale try and butter up. It's run by Kelly Mansell. Gets it moving, looking for none. He's in a battle with Wish Wilson, and the boundary line wins out of play. So Launceston will just be happy to have it in this half of the ground, I think, fellas.
And Launceston still yet to score this quarter, and they haven't really even looked like scoring, for being honest. It's all been Lauderdale's way this second term. As you mentioned, they'll be desperate for the half-time siren to come.
So as the ball comes in, Havea does well to out position the opposing ruckman Leadham, but Blues emerge with it. Hands out from Blackberry, looking down the line. It's Connor Smith. He takes it and runs it over the line, so another throw in. I'll just be happy to soak up the clock. I agree with you, Dave, because it's been a tough second stanza here. So the throw comes in. Havea and Leadham. Leadham gets their hands onto it, and it comes to Walsh. He has another go, Leadham. It's a big booming punch. Finds Kelly Mansell. He gets moving. Hands over the top to Powerfreeman. A little kick over the top looking for Arundel. It's picked up by Wish Wilson. Finds Fife in traffic. He does well to evade little Fife. Gets it off Walsh. Off now to Stanley. Away the Bombers go. Stanley long onto the out of the wing. Finds Clinton Brown. Hands and knees. Shovels it out. Finds Ray Hill. A sloppy handball inside is picked up by the Blues, and they'll escape now. Brown down the line. It's a good tackle coming from McGuinness on Brendan Taylor, and it's out of play. Geez, I thought the Bombers were away there, Anthony.
Yeah, they put themselves a little bit of trouble, but some fantastic work from Ben McGuinness. He really just went for his man and probably did help his side just to nullify that ball, take it out of bounds.
28 gone here at Windsor Park. Boundary throw in on centre wing. Leadham gets it down here towards Smith. He might kick straight away. Oh, look, a handball to Taylor. Probably wasn't a great option. Wasn't a good handball either. Taylor gets one high fortuitously. He'll take the free kick. Plays on straight away. Over here looking for Williams. Oh, it's knocked out there by Heavey. Contest now. Thomas Shepherd emerges. Out to Boyce, who's confronted by two Bombers. Falls to Tyrrell. To Thomas Shepherd off a step. Might be lucky to Blackberry now. Is he going to contemplate a shot for goal? No, he won't. Probably too far out anyway, you'd have to say. The siren's gone. That's the end of the first half here at Windsor Park. And at half-time, it's a game of two quarters so far. Launceston dominated the first quarter. They led by 19 points at quarter time. But at half-time, it's Lauderdale 6-5-41, leading Launceston 5-2-32. Anthony Osborn, the goal kickers to half-time.
Yeah, so for Launceston, as you said, did not kick a goal in that second term, but they do have goals, 2 from Kelly Mansell, 1 from Connor Smith, 1 from Brody Palfreyman, and 1 from Joe Boyce. For Lauderdale, it was all their running in the second term. Thor Boscott has 2 goals, Ryan Wiggins, Alex Heavey, Raymond Hill, and Corey Lampsis, all with 1 each.
Yeah, so we were so impressed by the Blues at quarter time, Damian, but certainly Lauderdale, especially after about the 5 or 10 minute mark of that second quarter, asserted their supremacy on the game.
Yeah, they ran rampant. And they actually ran the ball. I was quite impressed by their movement. They moved it quickly. They took the game on, and they won it out of the middle, which they weren't in the first term. But it seems the left is the goal kicking end here at Windsor Park today. A slight breeze, nothing major, but. No, they were exceptional then, the Bombers, and the game was really exploded apart by Thor Boscott. He got into the game and really made it his own in that second term.
And, the likes of Fife, Nat Franklin came alive. They'd probably had quiet first quarters. But, look, Hayden Smith is a player we haven't talked a lot about. But I was looking at that second quarter. He was getting a lot of tap-outs to advantage. Yeah,
no, Hayden Smith, he does well. He's undersized quite often in this league, and he does well just to battle, and gets a few clearances with his follow-up work as well. He's probably an underrated ruckman. Hayden Smith does a good job, but you're right about Fife. He was getting his hands on the footy at both ends, doing a lot of hard work, Fife. I think he's one of the key reasons this game's turned around as well. And Nat Franklin, he's so good out of stoppages. He's the man out the back quite a bit, and he finds a way to navigate their way out of trouble and get things moving. But a superb second quarter for the Bombers.
I think the loss of Lonigan is significant in that, because he's that inside midfielder. He gets those quality positions in close and feeds it out to the outside midfielders. So his absence, I think, has seen the Lauderdale midfielders really get on top and get those hard balls.
Yeah, no question. Sam Lonigan, a player of that calibre, you're going to feel it for sure. And the second term, they probably felt a little bit more than the first, but it's something they're going to have to deal with in this second half, because it's very unlikely we're going to see Sam Lonigan again today. So there are other quality movers, Powerfreyman, Taylor. I think Blackberry's been pretty quiet, pretty subdued. So they need their prime movers getting hands on the ball and getting it up to the likes of Gillo and Rulla Kelly Mansell, and of course Sonny Whiting, who's been very quiet this afternoon.
Half time here at Windsor Park. It's Lauderdale 6-5-41, leading Launceston 5-2-32. Hopefully in a moment we'll have Julie Kay, who's the president of the Lauderdale Football Club, joining us. But for now, here's some messages from City Park Radio. It's 6-5-41 Lauderdale, Launceston's 5-2-32 here at half-time. With the youngsters out on the ground, having a bit of a kick around, and their parents looking on. And it's great to see the young ones getting involved. It's an interesting contest to half-time, and it's with great pleasure here on City Park Radio and our TSL live stream to introduce our guest at half-time. It's none other than the president of the Lauderdale Football Club, Julie Kay. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you very much on a most beautiful day here in Launceston.
It was a bit chilly to start with.
It was, but when it's sun shines, it's okay.
That's right. And great scene here, not a bad crowd in, and a good contest.
No, it's really a very good crowd. Great to see all the kids running around. And, well, I guess Launceston and Lauderdale are really vying for top three positions.
Yep.
So today's match is going to be a crucial one for both clubs. So I think they're putting all that they can into it. It'll be interesting to see what happens after half-time, because Launceston skipped away early. But Lauderdale have come back very well. Darren must have got a bit cross at quarter time with them, I think.
Our boundary man down there, Adam, mentioned that he might have been a little bit cross with the team at quarter time. So
yes, we all know that.
Look, how's the club travelling in season 2017?
Yeah, really well. We're really happy. We've had some new improvements down at Lauderdale Oval, which has made a lot of difference to us, and we've still got some more to come. We've got our largest number of Oz kickers. We've got a large number of juniors represented in all the junior teams. Our development team is travelling okay, and today they did pretty well against the ladder leaders, we thought. And we did lose a number of senior players last year, so we weren't quite sure how our senior team were going to go, but our young guys have stepped up and they're doing really well at this stage. And their under-18s have been very competitive as well. So, and we're very active socially and very active in the community, which I think is really important.
You must have. It was a difficult start to the season. Was it level heads after 3 or so rounds, or were people getting a bit anxious?
Look, no one was, because the reality was that we were staying with teams until half time. So, and then we tended to slip away a little bit. So, some crucial mistakes, young guys not under pressure, making some bad decisions. So, we were always competitive, and I think we always thought that if we could actually just hang in there with them, that we would probably match it as the year went by, because we weren't losing by enormous amounts and we weren't playing badly.
Julie, there was. I always love seeing your ground on the highlights. It's just fantastic. It's that great atmosphere of real community feel to it. I haven't even been there, but I can just see that by looking at the spectators and that sort of thing. There was talk at one stage you might be moving to another place. And where's that at? Or are you happy where you are at the moment?
We are very happy where we are at the moment, and Clarence City Council have gone pretty quiet on the 7 Mile Beach proposal, so I'm just not sure where that's on their agenda either, because at the moment the Clarence Council have got some big agenda items in terms of developments in their community. So I'm thinking, because they're starting to spend money on the Oval, that we're probably there for some time to come.
And you're happy with that?
Absolutely. That's our home. That's our community. We agree that there needs to be some improvements, and in the Clarence Council budget this financial year, redevelopment of the visitors' change rooms, which all the other towns will be very happy to hear about. So, I mean, that's a real plus for us. And we're getting playing lights at the end of the season, so we hopefully will have some night games next year, which will be fantastic as well. Yeah.
I'm not sure Windy will be happy about upgrading those visitors' rooms. I think he likes to make it as uncomfortable as possible, doesn't he?
He does, and I suggested at one stage when it was a really cold day and the water had gone cold that he swabbed our team into there and let our visitors have the other one, and he just ignored me, basically. He just turned his back and walked away. He said, they'll be right.
Season 2017 for the TSL, it's been exciting. How are you finding the season, I guess, the competition as a whole?
I think that the top 4 or 5 are pretty competitive. I think that there are 2 or 3 teams that have really struggled this year for lots of reasons. And I think that there probably needs to have a bit of a look at some more support for the Northwest Coast teams, because I think that without them we don't have a true state league, so it may be a time for some equitable funding to ensure that they can maintain it into the state league. And I think there's also I'm not quite sure, but to me there's some tension between the local league and the TSL, and I think that probably needs to be resolved as well.
I think everyone's got to be on the same page for the good of football, isn't it? I mean, you can't look at just your own interests. It's got to be what's best for all leagues and all players.
See, I was interested reading in the paper last week about the NWFL president, I think it was, intervening in some junior games they wanted to play at the TSL game. Now, my view about that is that if you can, no matter who plays, that if you can get as many kids and as many parents and as many spectators and interest into one venue, that's about football.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter what league it's from.
Yep, that's right. And we're looking out here today with the young ones. What's the junior development like at Lauderdale? How are you faring with your under 18s and your junior players?
Well, really well. This year in particular, we're using a couple of our senior players to work a lot in our schools, and we also run an academy on Wednesday nights. So we invite any up and coming young guys from under 14 downwards on Wednesday nights to be part of an academy, and that includes training with our senior group. That includes talks, and they've sat in on a review of the senior games, those kinds of things, which have been fantastic. Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Women's is a massive growth area for the sport. What's Lauderdale doing around the women's space, and have we seen big growth around it in your part of the world?
Well, it's quite interesting because we had a women's team about 3 or 4 years ago, probably 4 years ago, before, it is what it is now. We had some unfortunate, probably some negative things go on with that team. So as a club, we decided we would start at the younger level so we could actually build the shared culture. And so this year we've got an under 14 youth team and an under 11 team. And some of our players had been playing with another club when we didn't have a team, so they've all come back. And I believe our under 11 team's almost undefeated. So the idea was to actually start women's football off at the junior level to develop that culture, and also the Lauderdale way through to the older ages. So yeah, first time we've had some women's teams, so that's going really well at this stage.
I don't expect you to go too many details, Julie, but financially, the club, how are you travelling? And there's a lot of talk around sometimes that sometimes the games that involve clubs from different regions, the crowds are a bit down. But I always look at your crowds, and you seem to always have a good gate. So financially, you're travelling okay?
Look, we certainly 2.5 to 3 years ago we had a substantial debt.
Yep.
And I think that's been fairly public, and I'm not really telling anything.
You probably weren't the only
know.
one. But,
But over the last 2.5 years, we have, gradually been able to turn that around. Last year, we made a profit, but that's really about really hard work. We don't pay the full salary cap as well, because if we did that, we probably would be in debt.
Yep.
And unlike some of the bigger clubs, with their facilities, we don't have necessarily another income stream to subsidise what we get from AFL TAS. So we've had to be a bit more careful. We run a lot of club-based social activities and a lot of community things. This year, my state have come on as major sponsors for 3 years, which has been absolutely fantastic. So, and we use the fact that we are a community football club and that we don't have huge facilities and that we do have big crowds to actually attract sponsors in that way.
And just that leads me to my next question. What does the club mean to the community of Lauderdale? Having that club there and as a spot where people can go and mix socially, what does it mean to the community of Lauderdale?
Well, in Lauderdale, they don't really have that many recreational activities or facilities, really. I mean, the football ground is probably one of... there's a skate park. But in terms of team sport, there really isn't much else there. We've got the Surf Lifesaving Club down at Clifton, which provides that summer thing, I guess, and the yacht club. So for the football club, it is kind of like the Northwest Coast in a way, that community centre. So, yeah, I think it means a lot to people. They're always asking me how they're going. Oh, the boys win on Saturday. When you're in at Hill Street or somewhere, they like to know what's going on.
So the coaching situation, Julie, I know...
I knew you were going to ask this.
Darren Winter at the start of the season sort of put it on the agenda that it might be a handover arrangement, or he might not be likely to take it on next year. Where's that situation at?
I believe that my footy department have had an initial conversation with him. I'm not sure of the total outcome, but he's not adverse to actually wanting to coach again if that is what the club chooses to do. And so over the coming weeks, there will be a bit of a review at this stage, and there'll be some decisions made before the end of the season. But certainly Darren has indicated that he's still enjoying it. And from my perspective, and I've been here probably 6 years now, not as president, but my son played, he's probably coaching better now than he ever has. So maybe a bit of age and wisdom is coming along for Darren. And he doesn't seem to get into as much trouble with the umpires anymore either. So that's to do with age and wisdom, I think, as well. Yeah. So who knows? He is not adverse to keeping on going, but he was clear about if that is what the club's direction is. Yeah.
Yep. Julie, thanks for joining us here on City Park Radio at half-time. Your team's doing well.
We'll
wish
see.
you all the well for the second half. Yeah, it's a long way to go.
It's only half-time.
All the best, and look, thanks for the hard work that you do for the community down there and the footy club. It's it's great to see them up and about in season 2017.
Okay, thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Cheers, Julie. That's Julie Kay from the Lauderdale Football Club, the president, here on City Park Radio at half-time in our TSL live stream. And we might just go through some other scores. And at Blunston Arena, it's half-time. Clarence 6-6-42, Devonport 1-4-10. And they're underway at the Twin Ovals, Gilly, and looks like the Tigers are up and about because they're 1-3-9 to Glenorchy 1-1-7. That would be a major upset if it continued that way.
Yeah,
very early, of course.
Yeah, very early. The scores have just changed.
There you go.
Glenorchy are now in front, 2 goals, 1 to 1 goal, 4. The Tigers, I think they'll want a massive response after losing significantly to Hobart City Demons last week. So I think they're a bit bruised by that one.
A few other scores round about in the Mercury Cup here earlier today. It was Launceston at 15-11-101 to Lauderdale 11-6-72. Umpires back on the ground here at Windsor Park. At other Mercury Cup scores, Clarence 15-9-99 defeated North Launceston 11-15-81. And the Tigers 9-8-62 defeated Glenorchy 8-8-56. And the big one there, Hobart City Demons 29-23-197 defeated Burnie 1-1-7. So a big win there to the Demons. And the Tigers are doing okay in the Mercury Cup, aren't they? They've got over Glenorchy today, so it's a good win for them.
Yeah, I think they're in the top couple at the moment. Might be third on the ladder. So the Tigers have been really good, and the depth of the club is coming on leaps and bounds down in Kingston. Just looking through some of the stats here, Dave. To half time. Kicks, Lauderdale lead in that space, 106 to 98. Handballs, 72 to 53. So they've had much more of the ball. 53 marks to 36. Inside 50 is an interesting one. 25 inside 50 for Launceston and 18 for Lauderdale. Interesting to note, in that second term, Lauderdale with only 2 more inside 50s, but they did all the scoring. Yeah. So made much more use of their forays forward. So it's also very, very interesting from my perspective to look at the individual stat leaders for Launceston and see Jay Blackberry with only 7 to half time. So we know he's one of the competition's best players. If he can get going, that'll go a long way to Launceston taking the chocolates. And he's got to step up because, as we said, Sam Lonigan out of the game now. A lot falls back on his shoulders, experienced player, and one of the best midfielders going around in the TSL. Half time 9-6-51. Sorry, 9-6. Start that again. 6-5-41. Lauderdale, Launceston at 5-2-32. As the players are back on the ground for Launceston, still awaiting the arrival of the Lauderdale players. We'll hear from our boundary riders in just a moment. Still a nice day here. The temperature has crept above 9 degrees, Gilly. It can rise high here in the north of the state, you know that. But no, so it's not a bad day here. Good conditions, not a breath of wind, and as I said, a good crowd in. And it's a huge game, isn't it? We said that from the outset, boys, didn't we? That if Launceston can win today, it really sets them up for that last bit of the season. Yeah, that top 3, it'd go a long way to securing them in the top 3, and we know that's crucial for the business end of the season. But interesting, the bulk of the scoring's gone to the left of screen on the stream, or left the radio dial if you're listening on the radio, and I don't think there's any great reason why it would be that case. Any thoughts on that, Anthony? Yeah, I mean, really, to be honest, as you said, the conditions are pretty well even across the ground, so I'm not 100% sure why that would be. It seems like, I think, Lauderdale, as that second quarter progressed, as you said a bit earlier, started to win the ball around the contest and push it forward, so I think it might actually just be a little more to do with the teams themselves and the actual conditions, but interesting to see if that trend follows in this term as well. We've got Warnie down there in the boundary. I can see him, he's actually heading across the ground at the moment. Warnie, you've been in the Lauderdale rooms. What's happening down there?
Yeah, just been in the Lauderdale rooms. They're pretty upbeat, I think. They're pretty happy with that second quarter that they've played there, obviously going in with a 9-point lead at half-time. Coach Darren Winter, he was going through the stats for a fair bit that I saw there, and just sort of they were making the improvements that they needed to on the first quarter, specifically the tackles. I think that's something that they were okay with. Then going through a fair bit of the I guess the biomechanics of all of that, making sure that they're getting nice and low into them, because the free kick count is certainly something that's that's not going their way at the moment. But like I said, they were pretty happy with where they're at the moment with what they were doing. So pretty upbeat, smiles on the face of the players. A couple of players were called out for the boots that they're wearing today, so that was an interesting one. The long stops. The long stops is certainly something that might have been changed for a couple of guys after copping a little bit there from Windy. The other ones that they certainly were all up and about with was the fact that that they need to, with the tackling, they need to just keep everything on their terms, because that's how this quarter. That's how they got themselves in front. And I'm just getting over to the other side of the ground. I've got my boys here, my apprentices, and been in with the Lonnie boys?
Yeah, been in with the Lonnie boys. Daniel Christie will start us off.
Yeah, look, despite giving up 5 goals on the bounce, Launceston up panicking. We've been in and around the rooms. Unfortunately, they've actually gone into the side room, which has prevented us from getting the up-to-date news that you're up to. But Jack has somehow managed to sneak in there and get his 2 cents worth.
Yeah, well, when we first walked in there and they were in their groups, Hamish Leadham, the big ruckman, wasn't happy with the disposal efficiency, especially the kicking. They need to hit the targets to bounce back from this one. Darren Geard also going on about disposal efficiency and the unanswered goals. Sam Lonigan believes they have to, his players have to have confidence in themselves to bounce back and win this third quarter especially, and the hard ball gets and contested possession will win the game for Launceston.
There we go, and we're ready to go here for the third quarter.
Thanks, boys. Damian Gill, take us into the second half.
Leadham swats it down, but it's taken by Boscott, and away Lauderdale go. Kicked out through McManus, and it's well gathered by Sutton. So Lauderdale with the advantage early. Interesting in that halftime report from Warney, he talked about the free kicks. We hadn't talked about it, but getting the stat sheet here, it's quite remarkable. 22 frees for Launceston and only 4 for Lauderdale.
Wow.
So that is a massive divide in the free kick count. Sutton wanders on in, never really looked like it, puts it up to the top of the square, and what a mark! Alex Hill, if you don't mind, comes deep in the pack and takes a tremendous clunk. What a bit of work from big Alex Hill. So Alex Hill will look to put another one through for Lauderdale. It'll be their 7th for the game. Be the perfect start to the third term. In come Alex Hill, a little skip and a little kick, and through it goes. Alex Hill gets Lauderdale on the board here early in the third quarter. 5-2, 32, 7-5, 47. Just a minute gone.
Yeah, that's just what they needed, wasn't it, the Bombers? They're just carrying on that momentum they had leading into half-time.
Yeah, and we know how important this third quarter is going to be. Last week, Lauderdale had a fantastic second term to get back in it against Clarence, but the third quarter saw Clarence just start to push away a little bit and get some of that momentum back. So, really important third quarter for Lauderdale. They'll be wanting to go a bit better today and really put this score ahead of Launceston. Still
haven't scored in since the quarter time break. Launceston 5-2-32, trailing at Lauderdale 7-5, 47. A beautiful bounce by the umpire. Leadham gets it down. Blackberry's there, but Walsh sharks it. Beautifully spins out of trouble. Gets over towards Josh McGuinness. Taps it further out to Hervea, if he can pick it up. In fact, it's Bill Chambers. Bill Chambers does beautifully. Kicks short and finds a teammate. Kicks laterally over here now towards Josh McGuinness, who takes the mark. Plays on straight away. Tries to get over the top. Well intercepted by Smith. Not 15. Play on, says the umpire. Alex Hill's got it. Loses towards Bill Chambers to Walsh. Back to Alex Hill. Hill for a second goal of the quarter. It's a funny old kick. Here's Thor Boscott. It's off hands into the goal square. It's seen through by Williams. One behind. Lauderdale 7-6, 48. Launceston 5-2, 32. As Williams now kicks towards defensive 50. Vandervelde, he doesn't quite take the mark. He butters up. He might have got one high. Play on, says the umpire. Smith to Tyrrell, now to Casey Brown. Now they've got space. From half-back, Brown goes nicely to Aganis, who drops an easy mark. He gets a second opportunity. Butters up to Taylor, to Rundle. He stops, he props. He now goes towards Blackberry. Not a great handball. Blackberry might make it look good. He does. He picks it up now towards Leadham by hand. Leadham kicks inside 50. Leading up is Whiting. Doesn't make him. Great mark there by Dylan Fife. Hands balls off to McGuinness, and away they go, Lauderdale.
Away they go indeed. It's with Ray Hill. Inside finds McManus striding through the centre of Windsor Park. Finds Hervea around 60 metres from goal. Gets it moving out in front of Boscott. He'll run onto it, Boscott, from the pocket over the top. Heavey all on his own. Oh, he slips, but he recovers and puts it through. 2 in a row for Lauderdale to start this third term, and the Bombers are on fire.
Yeah, great ball movement again by the Bombers. Launceston did okay. They moved it forward, but a good mark there at half-back by 5, wasn't it? And he was 1 against 2 in a contest, and they built from there.
Yep.
So 5-2-32 Launceston, 8-6-54. Starting to blow out here at Windsor Park. What do the Blues need to do, Anthony?
Well, it really is through the middle of the ground at the moment. I know just then they worked it out of defence, but the likes of Fife and Walsh, Franklin, they're starting to get their hands on the ball and just get Lauderdale up and about. And just then some fantastic work straight up the guts of the ground. Robbie McManus, and a wonderful finish from Alex Heavey, even though he did make it perhaps a touch more difficult than it needed to be.
Temperature drops by 5 degrees as the sun is obscured by cloud here at Windsor Park. Back down to about 4 now as Leadham, nicely towards Palfreyman. Evades him though. Comes out now. It's McGuinness. Kicks up towards the wing. Chance, good mark taken there by Reece Sutton. Sutton goes short looking for Fife. He marks in front of Vandervelde. Too far out to score. Listen to City Park Radio 103.7 and 96.5 in the TSL live stream. Fife now wheels and goes inside 50. Almost a mark there to Scott Hill. Falls to the base of the pack. Walsh has wrestled to the ground. Ball up 30 metres out from the Lauderdale goal. They've had all the attacking play this quarter. All the inside 50s, just about. Only 1 for Launceston so far. Been playing about 5 minutes. 22 points the margin. Leadham does well to Blackberry to Rundle. Here's a chance for the Blues. Rundle to the wing, but Wiggins is there. He's played in defence nearly all day. He has kicked a goal. Goes now towards Hayden Smith, who takes a mark on his chest. I'm impressed with Lauderdale's disposal. They've really tightened up since quarter time. Smith inside 50. Good mark. It's taken there by Alex Hill once again. He's already kicked one this quarter, and he's come alive since the half-time break, Gilly.
Yeah, usually a defender for Lauderdale, but he's handy at both ends, Alex Hill. As I said, as a junior, he was a formidable forward, and he's had sticky hands today, taking them well.
Absolutely. This would be a really big goal, but the bravery of Lauderdale to go through the middle of the ground there from that kick from Wiggins really has set this up. So Alex Hill will be hoping to kick his second major of the term.
Hill from about 40 delivers for goal. It's off to the right-hand side. 1 behind. Lauderdale 8-7-55. Launceston still on that same score. 5-2-32 is Damian Gill.
So Launceston out of defence. Blackberry offers short. That's ignored. Mopping up a bit of time. Might run out of options here. Chris Savage, the experienced Chris Savage, goes long beyond the arc. It's gathered well by Rundle. Hands it off to Gillo. Gillo gets it moving, looking for Whiting over his head. They should butter up. They do through Clevercamp. Lauderdale are away now. It's McManus. Had a fair bit of the footy. McManus spins into the middle. It's a shocking kick, but Blackberry doesn't gather, and it lets in Bryce Walsh, who's pushed in the back. So fortuitous for the Bombers. It was Casey Brown in his back, and Bryce Walsh takes the kick and takes it nicely. Finds Sutton, has a runner in Wiggins. Comes a little too quickly for him. So Sutton might just go back. No. A little one over the top to Wiggins, who wasn't closed down. A much tighter angle for Wiggins, but much more noted goal kicker. So Wiggins, who's played in defence for the bulk of this afternoon, hugging the boundary here on the broadcast wing.
Great view of this one, Gilly.
Right behind it. So Wiggins crosses 50, strikes it well. It's going towards goal. A pack forms, and it's a big mark. A big time mark taken right near the goal line by Thor Boscott. Who else but the enigmatic Boscott? He'll go back and put through his third of the game. He's been dynamic. Pops it through, and it's another one for Lauderdale. Things are getting out of hand for Launceston. 5-2-32, the Blues. The Bombers on top, 9-7-61.
That was a great mark, Anthony. He was by no means the tallest player in that contest, and he just rose from 3 or 4 deep and took a beautiful mark.
No, he just always finds his way to the ball. A fantastic leap and made the very obviously a very easy shot from the goal square. But just again, even though McManus went inboard to start that play off, it was a risky kick. It didn't quite pay off, but they really are just wanting to go direct through the middle of the ground and really expose the Launceston side. They're trying to utilise their pace and results in another goal there for Lauderdale.
We'll do it around the grounds at the next stoppage, back in the middle. Lauderdale 61, Launceston 32. Chance here for Franklin. He can't break free of 2 Blues players tackling. So it'll be a ball up just the attacking side of the centre circles for the Blues. He'll lead him. Does well to Boyce. He's tackled off the ball. Been great in the clearances now. McManus gets it away. Sorry, Bellchambers gets it away. It's knocked forward from McManus there by Savage. Chance now for Palfreyman. Handball falls to Smith. His handball goes back towards Palfreyman. Hutchison's got it. Tries to find Leadham. It's a comedy of errors here at the moment. Might culminate in a ball up, I'd say. No, there's Big Smith again. Geez, worked hard today. Out to Bryce Walsh. Tackled savagely there by Savage. That'll be a ball up. Now it's the attacking side of the centre circles for Lauderdale. Round the grounds, it's Clarence 8-9-57, Devonport 2-5-17, and Glenorchy down at the Twin Ovals leading at 4-2-26 to 1-5-11. From the clearance, here's Boyce. He's tackled to the ground. It's another ball up. Hope you're enjoying the coverage of the TSL here on City Park Radio and also our TSL live stream. Been playing about 10 minutes in this third quarter. Bryce Walsh. Handball, not a good one. Here's Rulla Kelly Mansell to Rundle. Can they build something in the Blues? Out towards Nunn. Goes one-handed. Needs to get round his opponent, Wish Wilson. He does now. Nunn kicks inside 50. Tries to find Taylor. Small falls over the back to Whiting. Whiting from the boundary line. Hooks for goal. Falls short. And waiting for it there is Wiggins, who takes a mark deep in defence.
Takes it and takes it well and uses it nicely by foot to find Sutton, hugging the boundary on the broadcast wing. From hands, Bellchambers uses it quickly, finds McGuinness, who hands it on to Franklin. A kick over the top, finds Lamses, handed off to Ray Hill. Just down the line, really hugging the boundary, finds Alex Hill. So the Hills combine. Looking towards 50, he just pops it up and calls for Boscott to leap at it, and leap he does. 5 at the ground, tries to tackle Tyrrell. The ball's still there and up for grabs. A free kick shout for Boscott, probably a fair one. They managed to get it out, though, the Blues, through Tyrrell, looking for Palfreyman. Over the top of him, it finds none. Hands it out to Williams. He's dealt with by Scott Hill and will get a free kick. So the Blues will be able to just steady the ship here and go back. Williams, a shocking little wobbly kick out onto the wing. Eventually finds Palfreyman. Gets it moving along, looking for Whiting, being quiet. And he fumbles as he goes to gather, and it's out of play. So a rare look inside 50 now for the Blues.
He's been quiet, Gilly, but I suppose to his credit, when his defence, I should say, there hasn't been a lot of inside 50 action for the Blues of late. Boundary throw in the forward pocket there for the Blues. They desperately need a goal. They're not out of this mathematically. They're less than 5 goals down, but they need to get something going here. As Rundle takes it, short distance kick, dribbles over the boundary line. The boundary throw in right adjacent to the right behind post. Good crowd in, as I've said a few times. So you can always tell by the number of cars that on that bank. If you're watching our live stream, you can see the cars 3 deep on that bank. And when they form up like that, you know you've got a bit of a decent crowd here at Windsor Park. As there should be, it's 3rd versus 5th. Crucial contest. Boundary throw in. Wish Wilson's there with none. Wish Wilson shovels it out towards Walsh. Now with Fife. Fife tries to get the handball over. Intercepted by Rulla Kelly Mansell. Shot for goal from Kelly Mansell. Round the corner. Has he done it? I think he has. That's 3 today for Rulla Kelly Mansell. It's a team lifter. That's what the Blues needed. And that's their 6th goal. 6-2-38. Lauderdale 9-7-61. Their first goal since quarter time.
Yes, and we saw both sides of Kelly Mansell there. I think Lauderdale will get a free kick straight from the centre bounce, because after he kicked the goal, he let Lauderdale know about it and gave away the free kick, collected Brycey Walsh. So that's what he is, isn't he? He's an exciting player, but he can get into a bit of mischief. So it'll be Bryce Walsh's ball. Takes it quickly, Wish Wilson all on his own, just inside the square. Here's a runner offering in Clever Camp. Won't use him, just dinks onto the feet of Alex Hill. He can't gather. Vandervelde bustles through. He's well collected by Hill. Shoved off it by Walsh. Finds Heavey. He can't gather. It's congested in there. It's a hard footy to gather. Wish Wilson does his best. Slapped forward by Heavey. Picked up again this time. Williams for the Blues. Can't get boot to ball. Heavey caught high. And I think he was caught high. We'll just wait and see. Plenty of players in there. Bit of fire in this one. Ooh, someone caught eye in that. I think it was Clint Brown, not happy with the way things are going.
And the yellow card, the umpire Tom McAdee has brandished a yellow card. I'll pick up the player in a minute. There's players going down left, right and centre.
He's fired up, isn't he there, Clint Brown, really getting into Jake Smith. So it was actually a Williams kick, so he must have caught one higher in the back.
Jordan Roberts has been reported, Gilly. The umpire's got the book out. Had a few reports today.
Yeah.
Busy for the match review panel during the week.
I think it's 3 so far, so yeah, a bit to look at. So Williams just waiting as the umpire notes it down in his book.
They're not out of this, are they? I mean, it's 4 goals. If they can just replay what they did in that first quarter and get back into the game, they're still with a chance.
Absolutely, as the ball's kicked out from Williams, finds Tyrrell, who slides in and gathers. Just on the edge of the centre square. Little kick down the line, he'll find Powerfreeman and finds him well. The midfielder keeps going in that direction, down the line looking for big Leadham. Tute Havea under it, doesn't gather. With hands, Lauderdale escaping, it's with Walsh. Tries to find McManus, the handball doesn't hit its target, and McManus is caught and all he can do is throw. So a Launceston ball.
Tyrrell might have reversed this, and now Casey Brown.
McGuinness behind the play, collected a couple of times, so Lauderdale with a reprieve. Taken quickly by McGuinness, gets it moving to Sutton on the broadcast wing. He picks it up, looking for Alex Hill, who's been a danger man in this term. He can't mark it. Agarnis all over him, as to Williams, takes the ball, gets to Agarnis. He runs into his own teammate, and Thor Boscott comes in and gets him. That was a clumsy display. The Blues couldn't navigate themselves. It was Brown and Agarnis who just came together like a set of cymbals. And away they go. It'll be a free kick. This one to the Blues out of the ruck contest. It'll be Leadham. He goes out to the far side looking for Williams there. Finds him well. Williams with time and space to assess options. Looks for Powerfreeman. He's been the most dangerous mover for Launceston, so no wonder why. A timely intervention from Lauderdale through Scott Hill. And now he's wrapped up Powerfreeman as he regathers. And it'll be a ball up.
Ball up on the far side of the ground. It's Lauderdale leading by 23 points. So a goal to Launceston have brought them back within the 4 goals, but there's a long way to go. Lauderdale still looking the better side from the stoppage. That's Paul Freeman. Kicks off a step in towards the centre of the ground. Important contest, this one. Tom Shepherd's got it. Handball over the top here. The Boyce takes it well with one hand. Gets it off now to Blackberry on his left foot. Beautiful kick, Jay Blackberry. We know he's good in that situation. He's hit Sonny Whiting on the chest. He's got Ruller to his left, but he's covered now by Josh McGuinness. Sonny right on the edge of his range, I'd say, here. Now he doesn't go for it. He goes instead towards Ruller. Kelly Mansell picks it up on the half volley. Swings for goal. It's off to the left. It's one behind. Launceston 6-3-39. Lauderdale 9-7-61. The margin 22 points.
So Lauderdale with the advantage here at Windsor Park. The game not beyond Launceston though, as the kick's taken from full back. It's a long raking boot. A pack forms. It's over the back of the pack and it finds McManus. Keeps it alive. Snaps around the corner. Clint Brown under it. He does well, but Vandervelde gets a hand in. Comes from Roberts to Bryce Walsh, and Lauderdale away now. Boscott explodes. He's got just one to contend with in the 50. Spins around, puts it over the top. Lamses will wander on in and put through another for Lauderdale. Beautiful work from Thor Boscott. Didn't panic, assessed the options, and it is Lauderdale's 10th of the game. 6-3-39 Launceston. Lauderdale on top, 10-7-67.
Wonderful composure there from Thor Boscott. He had the option there. He probably could have blazed away and had a shot, but he just waited until the teammate was in a better position and sets up a really important goal for Lauderdale. Launceston just started to get their way right back into the contest there, but a really timely goal for the Bombers.
Spot on, Anthony. He had a great presence of mind. Chris Savage, to his credit, did well there in that situation. He sort of corralled Boscott, but he saw Lounceston's over the top and just calm, collected, and another goal for Lauderdale. They lead by 28 points round the grounds. It's Clarence 10-10-70, Devonport 2-6-18, and it's Glenorchy 4-2-26. The Tigers 1-5-11 at quarter time. Bounce down in the middle. It's a nice firm surface here at Windsor Park. Rundle kicks into an opponent, Bell Chambers. Now Bell Chambers gets it to Walsh, to Franklin, to Ben McGuinness, to Wiggins. Josh McGuinness to Wiggins. Kicks up towards the wing. B. Hayden Smith again. Racehorse off and running. Kicks up towards attacking 50. Good work there from Chris Savage. Falls to Casey Brown. He's got it. He handballs it back to Savage. He threw it to the umpire. Illegal disposal. Free kick Lauderdale. Getting up to take it will be Scott Hill. In fact, it's Ray Hill. Ray Hill too far out to score. Will he go deep? No, he goes short. Not a great kick. Leadham has trouble picking it up. Vanderveld, handball back towards Leadham. Luxor Fortune now off to Joey Boyce. They're in space. Tries to find a Gannis. Not a great kick. Intercepting is Franklin. He's 60 metres out. He goes to pass it, but he changes his mind. He goes instead and finds Ray Hill once again. He's coming to the game today. Second mark in about 30 seconds. He might have a go this time. He'll be kicking from about 53 out when he delivers. Takes his time way back in the centre square. 10-7-67 Lauderdale, Launceston 6-3-39. Ray Hill for goal. It's a high kick. Not going to make the distance. Boscott's there hovering again. Vanderveld falls straight to Roberts. It's a goal to Lauderdale. Off the fist of Vanderveld, fell in the lap of Roberts, who had more time and space, I think, than he expected, and calmly put it through for another goal for Lauderdale. It's getting ugly now for the Blues. Damian Gill.
Tough to see it going anyway rather than Lauderdale from this point. They're on fire. 11-7-73, 6-3-39. 20 minutes gone here in the third. It's a real uphill battle for the Blues if they're to salvage anything from this, but the Bombers being tremendous in the middle, just winning the ball at will at the moment, and forward of centre they've Thor Boscott's electric, and blokes like Ray Hill and Alex Hill have both been really, really dangerous.
And in periods of ascendancy, they've made it very difficult, haven't they, for the Blues to clear that defensive 50. They formed that wall, and they did a couple of times there, and eventually a goal resulted.
Smith down for Franklin, gets it on the boot, out over the head of Fife, racing away is Dunellen, and he's caught on the way through, so he'll get a free kick. Dunellen just cools the Jets, turns around and puts it on the boot and finds Connor Smith. Good mark from Smith. He manages to get a tumbling bunt through a few players and finds none. Hands it off, looking there for Brendan Taylor. He's dealt with and is picked up by Franklin, who finds Wish Wilson. Over the top looking for Sutton. It's Tyrrell who does well in traffic but can't gather the pill in the end. Handed off from Sutton and finds Walsh, loses it, and then Sutton regathers and finds Walsh once more. The ball comes long and it's caught well by Hill. Advantage over the top. He'll find Roberts. We'll go back though. It'll be, I think it was a downfield free kick in the first place, but to Hill's credit, he took the mark and took it well. Alex Hill proving to be a dangerous player. So as Bryce Walsh, after he got the kick away, he got collected. Did you see that one well, Anthony?
Didn't see the actual incident, but it took him quite a bit of time to get up. He was there sitting down, taking some very deep breaths. He is up now.
He's confronted by Stuart Williams there and copped him high after the kick was delivered.
As Hill comes in and pops it through. Lauderdale on fire here. It's been a really good afternoon for the Bombers, and it's just getting better. 12-7-79. Launceston a long way back, 6-3-39, a 40-point advantage.
So quarter time 5 goals to 2, since quarter time 10 goals to 1. Tells the story.
It does. They've been tremendous in this term, and Alex Hill, he's one of the main reasons. Been superb in the forward half, as I said. Been a defender for the bulk of this season and seasons previous, but he's been great.
Tightening up at the Twin Ovals a bit. It's 4-3-27 Glenorchy, Tigers 3-6-24.
Some interesting news out of the Twin Ovals. Yep. Daniel Archer playing for the Tigers.
Okay.
Yeah, so the old Saint.
Yeah, that's an interesting move. So it could bring them back in the game. Here comes Fife now, out of the middle. Fife up towards Alex Hill again. Has he marked it? No, he hasn't. Nearly got purchase on it. Umpire's paid it, has he? He has. Alex Hill, he has been on fire in this game. kicked a goal just a minute or so ago. And he's lining up once again. Tough shot, this one. He's about 15 metres in from the boundary line on the left-hand side. But another strong mark. Geez, an impressive game.
Yeah, it's interesting that you flip around Wiggins and Alex Hill. I wouldn't have expected that from Darren Winter, but it's been a bit of a coaching masterstroke.
And once again, there's Alex Hill for goal. That's another one, Alex Hill. It's another one for Lauderdale. That's their 13th. Alex Hill is on fire here at Windsor Park. It's 85 to Launceston 6-3-39.
He's got his kicking boots on today, Alex Hill. He's been kicking well around the ground, but that is just a fantastic finish. That is not an easy set shot, and he has made no mistake whatsoever.
It simply didn't look like missing. He really got nice connection on it, and he's been a tricky matchup for the Blues.
I think you're right what you said pre-game, Gilly, about Lauderdale going to stretch the Lonnie back line, and we can see now they've taken a number of marks inside 50. Might look at that at three-quarter time when we get the stats, but they're just dominant up there now, and the margin's really blowing out.
Yeah, the defence just can't hold the range of options Lauderdale have. As bounced down, it's won by Leadham, and it's to Powerfreeman. He comes to Boyce, gets it on the boot, a tumbling punt, looking for Kelly Mansell. It's collected there by Taylor, who has it once more after a brief intervention. He's wrapped up and it's holding the ball, so it'll be Josh McGuinness's ball. Been a little quieter today, Josh McGuinness, running through half-back and the middle. But a quality player, of course, former Lion. Only last year he's on the Brisbane Lions list. Ryan Wiggins with the ball. He'll look to go back into defence. Finds Clevercamp. It was a hefty pass from Wiggins and sold Clevercamp into a bit of trouble. They're able to mop up, but then Wiggins is caught and caught well. It was a good tackle by Sonny Whiting. So it'll be a Launceston ball. The Blues still trying here as the ball's kicked down the line to Jake Smith. The bearded Smith from about 55, hugging the boundary. You wouldn't have thought a shot would be in order here. He loads up. Goes deep into the pocket, almost too deep, almost out of the bounds. Gets a touch on the way through, so it'll be a ball up. I'm sensing a bit of sunny time here.
Yeah,
he's been quiet.
We need one for the goal of the week, don't we?
Yeah, and he's usually good for one a week. So in comes the ball. Agarnis and Wish Wilson. Wish Wilson with a fist falls to the back of the pack. It's Ruller Kelly Mansell. Offline.
You're looking for a goal of the week there too, Gilly, I think.
I was indeed, as it's taken quickly. Kicked out of defence by Stanley. Looking for Havea. He takes it well. Havea looks inside. He gets motoring straight away. Hands it over the top for Fife. Bounce to Fife. It comes to McManus. McManus to Heavey. They got runners everywhere, Lauderdale. He can get it over the top to Thor Bosco right in the square. Timely intervention, and it's a good one from Ryan Tyrrell.
Tyrrell marks. Plays on straight away to the far side looking for Kelly Mansell. It's way up the ground. A bit of the action. He takes the mark. Goes short here to Thomas Shepherd. Still inside defensive 50 for the Blues. Trailing by 45 points. Thomas Shepherd right over to the other side of the ground to Williams. Switches on as they've got Hutchison. Oh, Williams, poor kick. The groans from the crowd here at Windsor Park. He turns his head away in disgust as it's out of bounds on the full. It'll be a free kick going the way of Thor Boscott. He's had a brilliant game today. He's been on fire, especially since quarter time. He set the game alight in that second quarter. 2 goals himself and a great assist. Here's Boscott. Surely he's too far out to score. He kicks to the top of the goal square.
Hill.
Flyers wanted. Hill's been picked out. Has he got it? He handballs over the top. Here to Heavey. He's tackled straight away. Tries to get it away. It should dribble through for a behind here. There's Tutai Havea shoves Savage in the back, but it's one behind. Lauderdale 13-8-86. Launceston 6-4-40. In the dying minutes now of this third quarter. It's a bridge too far now for the Blues in this last quarter. Some 8 goals behind. Kicks to himself to Denellen. Goes to the far side in front of the change rooms. Rising high, nearly taking the mark there was Ben McGuinness. He might have paid a free kick anyway. The helmeted Ben McGuinness. Plays on, goes short. Has a player there in Ray Hill who takes the mark. Might be too far out to score. Plays on now. He goes short as well to Boscott. First grab, can't take it. Gets it though on the ground. He's tackled. Holding the ball. is the decision. It's going to go to Williams, deep in defence for the Blues.
So Williams, hopefully he can do better with this kick than his last. Just a little dink over the top. It wasn't his best at all. McGuinness with a fist. Comes down for Stanley. Runners galore. Heavey over the top to Sutton. He's caught awkwardly. Punched over the top by Heavey again. Blackberry in traffic to Williams. This one's a high wobbler. Comes out of 50. And marked easily by Bellchambers. Bellchambers raises the ball. He's going long. No, he isn't. Goes short and finds Ray Hill. Ray Hill looks keen to get moving. He'll go back. He's had no luck. I don't think he's registered a goal yet, has he?
I did kick one.
He kicked one, but this range will test him. He doesn't look confident at all. He's looking for options. He's going to load up from the paint of 50. A long high one, lead him under it. He'd be the one you'd fancy. Thorboss got over the top, buzzing like a fly. He snaps.
No.
Oh, the post denies what would have been a ripping fourth goal for Thor Boscott.
It's Denellen now, kicking out from fullback. He's got a short one on here, and Blackberry takes the mark in front of Havea. Blackberry, 30 metres out from his defensive goal. Nice delivery here, and he finds a teammate there in Chris Savage, the veteran. Plays on, goes laterally to Thomas Shepherd. Play on now, says the umpire. Good movement here from the Blues. James Gillow plays on straight away. Finds Jake Nunn as the three-quarter time siren sounds here at Windsor Park, and Lauderdale really turned the screws in that quarter and are out to a 47-point lead. 13-9-87, Launceston 6-4-40. Goal kickers, Anthony.
Yes, so for Launceston, Ruther Kelly Mansell with 3 goals. Connor Smith, Brody Palfreyman and Joe Boyce all have singles as well. For Lauderdale, 3 goals to Alex Hill, who had a sensational third quarter there. Thor Boscott also has 3 goals, 2 to Alex Heavey and singles to Roberts, Wiggins and Raymond Hill. Also, Launceston has 2 as well.
So 7 goals to 1 in that quarter. Gilly, lots of inside 50s. Just a dominant display by Lauderdale.
Absolutely dominant, and it was Alex Hill for me in that term that really got it going Lauderdale's way. I think Boscott turned the game the quarter before, and he was sensational in the third, but Alex Hill as a tall target inside 50 looked like catching everything that came inside the 50 and put away some nice set shots. So another dangerous option for them inside 50, Alex Hill, and the Bombers, they won't be headed from here. They're on fire.
Three-quarter time, you're listening to City Park Radio 103.7 and 96.5, and you're watching the TSL live stream. Three-quarter time, 13-9-87 Lauderdale, Launceston 6-4-40. We'll be back in a little while. And three-quarter time, it's a big advantage to Lauderdale. Looks like they've got the game in their keeping. 13-9-87 leading Launceston 6-4-40. Around the grounds in the TSL, we've got 3 games other than this one underway. It's a big lead to Clarence over Devonport at Launceston Arena. 14-10-94 to Devonport 2-6-18, and that's early in the last quarter. Close tussle at the Twin Ovals. We heard what Gilly said before about Daniel Archer playing for the Tigers, and Glenorchy 4-3-27, the Tigers 3-7-25, getting close to half-time there. And they're underway at West Park. Bit of a danger game for the Demons, but at the moment they're doing quite well. 3-6-24, leading Burnie 2 goals straight, 12. Gilly, you got the stats there.
I do have the stats. Lauderdale with a lot more of the football, 30 more kicks than Launceston, 168 kicks to 138. A lot more handballs too, 105 to 82, and a heap more marks, 38 more marks than the opposition, 88 to 50. So that is quite outstanding, and the free count hasn't really squared up at all. So 29 frees for Launceston, 11 for Lauderdale. So a few more in that term. It was 7 apiece. So inside 50s, interestingly, only 2 in it. So their inside 50s are a lot more meaningful and a lot deeper penetration when they get an inside 50. So 33 to 31 in that aspect. So Launceston with a big hill to climb, too big a hill I'd suggest. Lauderdale have been terrific and have all the hallmarks of a genuine contender.
And we're at some of the individual stats for the Blues players there.
Yeah, I'll just have a look through the Blues. They've had their colours lowered today, especially through the middle. But Power Freeman's had 20, so he's the best mover there, which is no great surprise. Boyce has been good with 16, Smith with 15, Rundle, Tyrrell and Gillow with 13. Riley Kelly Mansell's come in and out of the game. He's had 13. Along with his 3 goals. Jay Blackberry quiet with 12, Shepherd with 12, Taylor with 11, and they're the major ball winners for the Blues. Sonny Whiting with just the 4 touches.
Yeah, it's not great for Sonny. Limited opportunities, it has to be said. Who are your better players so far for Lauderdale?
For Lauderdale, Alex Hill, tremendous in that third term, really brought the game to life in the forward line. Thor Boscott, for me, has been the best man on the ground. I thought he turned the game and kept the foot on the pedal in that quarter. I've liked the work of Fife all across the ground. He's picked up possessions and used it well when he's had ball in hand. Robbie McManus is always a great link player for them. But truthfully, Lauderdale, beyond quarter time, have had winners across the park. Yep. They've been truly superb.
And, we talked about their forward pressure. They just haven't let the Blues escape outside that defensive 50, and that's created scoring opportunity after scoring opportunity. Yeah,
their setup's been quite impressive when they've got inside forward 50. They've held on to the ball and they've really suffocated the Blues, and the Blues have been tested by foot and haven't been able to stack up. They haven't found those targets and been able to thread the needle. So the Bombers' forward pressure's been tremendous and has paid dividends with 13 goals to 3/4 time, and you'd think they'd put away a big score now with a quarter to play.
We should mention for our listeners and viewers that there was a late withdrawal from Launceston today. That was Corey Shepherd, who was out with an ankle injury sustained on Thursday at training, and James Gillow came into the team, and they lost Sam Lonigan. It was sort of midway through the first quarter, wasn't it, boys? He went off with concussion, and he's been on the bench ever since, and has played no further part in the game, so a big blow there for the Blues. We'll have our boundary riders in just a moment. Warnie, and great job from his 2 apprentices today, 2 guys from Launceston College, Daniel Christie and also Jack Hardy, learning their craft. It's good to get the young people involved in the media, isn't it, Damian?
Yeah, good to have them involved in TSL football. It's an exciting code at the moment, an exciting competition, the way things are moving. An important win on the cards here for Lauderdale because they just skip away from Hobart City Demons a bit of breathing space.
We've got Warnie and the boys down on the boundary now. Warnie, what do you got for us?
Yeah, just come out of the Lauderdale huddle there, and they are up and about wanting to finish this off really well. They talked about finding Boscott, who's having a great game so far, up in the forward line, but looking after the ball as they go inside 50 a little bit more. Not too much blazing away. We've got to really pump up what this is for them. A big game that they highlighted before it, and looking at trying to... It's all about percentage from here. That's knocking theirs down a little bit and obviously boosting theirs, as it is tough inside that top 5 for the TSL. From the Launceston huddle, here's Daniel Christie.
Yeah, look, you only need to take one look at the score to get a true reflection of the game. Frontal pressure and disposal efficiency has been consistent themes throughout the game, and Jack has a little bit more of us in regards to what Darren Geard has said.
Before we go on to what Geardy said, Jake 9, number 29, wants the back line to lock down and have an arm across the whole quarter, and Geardy just needs them to present and play contested footy is what they always do.
Rightio, we're underway here in the last quarter.
Cheers, Warnie, and thanks, boys, down on the boundary. We're underway in the last quarter. McManus has got the ball, and here's Damian Gill for City Park Radio and the TSL live stream.
McManus with a booming boot down the wing. It had to have travelled all of 60 metres and was punched out of play. So the last term going Lauderdale's way in terms of direction, and that's the way the scoreline's headed. 13-9-87, a commanding lead, 47-point lead over 6-4-40 Launceston. So Launceston, a win's just about beyond them here as Smith with a little touchdown. Powerfreeman gathers, gets the handball out despite the traffic around. It's picked up by Stanley, does well with hand. Finds a runner in Franklin, then to Ben McGuinness. Finds his brother in Josh, who finds a little bit of space. Gets it on the boot over the back. It might just find Ray Hill. It does. Ray Hill will go back and line up for his second of the game. And the last quarter has started much like the third. The Bombers just far too good in this one, Dave.
Yeah. The margin's bigger than I expected. I thought it'd be a close contest today, but they've showed they've arrived in TSL footy well and truly for season 2017.
So Ray Hill, a long approach. He's gone a long way back. Distance at about 15 metres if he took it truly. He took it from further way out and puts it through the big sticks. So Lauderdale with their 14th for the game, 14-9-93 lead. Launceston 6-4-40, and they're on top. And they're looking like having a big win here at Windsor Park, Anthony.
Yeah, absolutely. That was just a sublime use of ball from Josh McGuinness going inside 50, just right to the advantage of his MacKillop alumni, Ray Hill, and he kicks his second goal of the game, and as you mentioned, it's all Lauderdale at the moment.
Getting a bit gloomy here at Windsor Park. There's clouds well and truly over the ground now. Sunshine's history this last quarter, and it's gloomy for the Blues as they trail now by 53 points. It's a low bounce, that one. Forced to lead him. It gets a quick kick out of the centre towards Gillow. Ricochets here towards Blackberry. Picks it up on the second attempt. Shovels it forward. Evades Ben McGuinness to Franklin. Can't pick it up. Aganis fumbles also. Picks it up now. Runs into a brick wall. Back to Rundle. Inside 50. Falls now to Whiting. He's got Gillow. He doesn't go to him. He's going to go himself. Sonny Whiting. Now he goes to Gillow, who might pick up round the corner. James Gillow. That's a goal for the Blues. Good goal there from James Gillow. Steadied well on that left foot around the corner, and that's the 7th goal for Launceston. 7-4-46, Lauderdale 14-9-93.
Good goal from the youngster. Took his chance well. A nice snap. Sonny Whiting, I thought he might have shot for goal himself there, but unselfish and the right option in the finish. So Launceston with the response early in this fourth term. They've just got to try and win the quarter, I think, Dave, and round this game out and just don't let Lauderdale blaze this one away, because percentage could be telling when it comes to top 3 spots later on in the season.
Promising young player, James Gillow. We saw him kick 4 here a few weeks ago against Glenorchy in an impressive display, and he's sort of a small forward type player, but he gets within goal. Inside of goal, he usually converts. Back in the middle, Hayden Smith does well, only as far as Blackberry. Intercepted beautifully there by Ben McGuinness. McGuinness up towards attacking 50. Bryce Walsh gets it towards the boundary line, backtracks to Sutton, back to Bryce Walsh. He's heading away from goal. Short now, back to Ben McGuinness, who's coming into the game. A lot of involvements. One of 3 McGuinness boys that plays with Lauderdale. 2 in the side today. There's young Matthew as well. As Franklin goes short, and taking the mark is Jordan Roberts. Plays on now. Kicks deep inside 50. Here's Boscott. Not in this occasion. Falls towards McManus. Boundary line beats him. No, he just keeps it in. Still a chance here for Heavey. Heavey over the top to Boscott, but it does go out of bounds this time in the forward pocket. Boundary throw in. 93 plays 46 here at Windsor Park. And Lauderdale heading for a victory that will keep them clear of Hobart City Demons. Will probably win today and keep the heat on, but you'd say Lauderdale would be certs to make the 5 this year in what we've seen today. Knocked away by Alex Hill towards the boundary line, out of bounds. I'll keep going, Gilly. I've got the binoculars. Bit hard to see on that far side of the ground. Boundary throw in. It's going to be Leadham up against Hutaiavea. Leadham with the height advantage, wins it. Falls to Heavey, can't pick it up. Fife wrestled to the ground, Bell Chambers in there. So Alex Hill again, falls to Connor Smith. He gets a funny old handball towards Blackberry. Blackberry to Williams. In fact, it's Hutchison. Hutchinson's on the ground now. He can't get it clear. Picked up by Tyrrell. They can't get clear, the Blues now. They do. Here's a good handball coming out towards Joey Boyce. Boyce is not a great kick though. Falls to Cleaver Camp. He stumbles. Gets the handball back to Josh McGuinness to Franklin. Franklin goes wide and now towards Ed Stanley. He'll take the mark on his chest. He plays on. Further up the wing. It's going to fall here to Thomas Shepherd, is it? No, Denellen scoops it back towards Fife. Umpire says a throw. Free kick to Lauderdale.
So Lauderdale, game just going their way. They're on top here at Windsor Park, a commanding scoreboard lead as it goes long down the line from Heavey. A big boot and a big clunk from Alex Hill. He's on fire, the big man. He'll go back and look to put through his 4th of the afternoon. His hands have been as sticky as they come.
Just a reminder, guys, you've got to do a 3, 2 and 1 at the end of the day for the City Park Radio Player of the Year.
The way big Alex Hill's travelling.
Is he challenging Boscott?
Oh, he might just feature. The big man, Alex Hill. Long approach. The way he's kicked it this afternoon, there should be no trouble for him. Skips on in. Kicks it nicely. He was happy with it, and that's why. Through the sticks, another for Alex Hill. His 4th of the afternoon, and a 15th for Lauderdale. 15-9-99. Well on top of the Blues. 7-4-46. He's been fantastic, Alex Hill.
I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Lauderdale, but this would have to be one of his best games for the season, surely.
Yeah, best game, no doubt. He's played, as far as I've seen him this season, he's played pretty much all his footy, or a few brief minutes where they toss it up and put him forward. He's played it all in defence. Just
shows the versatility of the Lauderdale lineup with Wiggins in defence and Alex Hill up forward.
McGuinness in the middle.
That's right.
They've got players, they can shuffle the deck and really spin the magnets, and it's worked for them this afternoon.
Tutai up against Leadham. Leadham, great fist down there towards Palfreyman. Kick up towards half forward. Jake Smith will come and meet it, but he's beaten to it by Josh McGuinness. Falls now to Wiggins, back to Josh McGuinness, to his brother Ben, who fumbles. Good pressure there from Palfreyman. He picks up the ball one-handed, breaks a couple of tackles, goes backwards towards Rundle. Off the left foot, up towards attacking 50. Here's Gillow. He rises high. He just can't quite take the mark. Off the pack now, it's Franklin. It falls out to Jake Smith, to Tom Shepherd. Quick kick forward, always kicking under pressure, Launceston. They've coughed it up again. This time it's Josh McGuinness taking the mark on his defensive 50. He's got some players if he wants to switch, but he's going to go down the line. Up here towards Tutai against Leadham. Leadham fists it away. Franklin fists it in the other direction. Tutai now here towards Roberts. He's got a player over the top if he can get it. Can't get the handball penetration, so it falls to Hutchison. Hutchison by hand to Thomas Shepherd, right on the boundary line. Nice kick, Thomas Shepherd to Gillow. Downfield, but he marked it anyway. James Gillow's kicked a goal in this last quarter. Goes short and finds Blackberry. Couple of kicks out from goal. He might go wider to Tyrrell. Let's see. He goes wide, but not to Tyrrell. He goes to Joey Boyce instead. He has Tyrrell in support if he wants him. He plays on now on his right boot. Kicks short, looking for Whiting. Marks. About 45 out. On a tough angle, but if anyone knows Windsor Park, it's Sonny Whiting. He's hit a lot of goals here over the years. Windsors in pain a little bit as he took that mark. Sonny Whiting, how many has he kicked today there, Anthony?
Sonny Whiting has not kicked a goal
Not kicked a
yet
goal, I
today.
didn't think so. So unusual for Whiting to go empty-handed. Here's an opportunity for the Blues' 8th goal. Approaches the man on the mark. It's not too bad. Sonny Whiting has got another goal for the Blues. That's their 8th. 8-4-52. Lauderdale 15-9-99. And that's the play that we've seen from the Blues this year, Gilly, but we haven't seen it much today. That the leading forwards, the Rullakilly Mansell, the Sonny Whitings, they just haven't had those opportunities.
No,
but not a bad goal, nevertheless.
No, he puts his chances away, doesn't he, Sonny Whiting? The disappointment for the Blues will be that that's his first real look at it this afternoon. Yep. So they haven't been able to find him out in front and hasn't taken too many on the chest. But well put away by Whiting, but Lauderdale well in control.
Let's might just check some around the ground scores here in the TSL as we refresh the app. And Hobart City Demons 4-7-31, Burnie 2 straight 12, Glenorchy 6-4-40, the Tigers 5-8-38. Back to you, Gilly.
Arm wrestle at Twin Ovals as the ball comes out of the middle and straight into the arms of Ben McGuinness. Into the middle he goes, finds Franklin who's keen to handball. He does, finds Stanley who runs into a Launceston sandwich and he's out. It's holding the ball. So a good tackle from the Blues. It's Rundle who gets it moving. A little kick over the top. Finds none. He can't take the mark. Wish Wilson providing chase. Rundle follows up his work, gets it on the boot, a long high ball. It's deep into the forward line, and it's deep straight into the arms of Sonny Whiting.
Fantastic use of the body there from Sonny Whiting.
Whiting gets on the move and puts it through. So Whiting been well held all afternoon. He's starting to get off the leash here. 2 quick goals in no time. It was a good ball in from Connor Smith. Well taken from Whiting, and then a good finish.
Yeah, margin back to 41 points, and I'm sure Darren Winter wouldn't want this game to get to sort of a 4 or 5 goal game towards the end. He'd want to finish the deal here.
It wouldn't be a true reflection if it does, Dave.
No.
So, but credit to Launceston. They're probably in a position where dropping their heads, you'd half understand it. But if they can finish off strong, they'll take something out of the game, even though it is a losing effort.
And who knows what role percentage will play come September. Who knows? So, going to fight it out to the end. Back in the middle. Leadham gets it down to Franklin, who sharks it up towards Denellen, who takes a strong mark on his chest on defensive 50. Jack Denellen, former Tassie Mariner, goes short to Polfriman, takes the mark. Polfriman as a man out wide, that's Matthew Hutchison. He takes the mark under heavy tension there from Bell Chambers. Not 50 metres, says umpire McEntee. As Hutchison now sums up his options, goes straight to Bell Chambers, will probably get this. He fumbles the first time, he gets it the second time. Here he goes from about 48 metres out. Bell Chambers, great goal, Phil Bell Chambers. He executed the smother, he picked up the spillage. He's converted from, as I said, just inside 50. He's going off for a rest. Great goal there from Phil Bell Chambers.
A well-earned rest, because that was a tremendous solo goal. He made the chance and then took it with perfection. Great goal, Phil Bell Chambers.
Impressive player, isn't he, Anthony?
Yeah, absolutely. He's been solid today. First time he's got on the scoreboard for the afternoon, but just such an even spread of contributors in this Lauderdale outfit today. Everyone's played their role, and that goal there, as you said, Darren Winter wouldn't have wanted Launceston to get any closer this afternoon in this final term, and that's a really good goal there from Phil Bell Chambers.
Phil Bell Chambers, one of those players, he doesn't need a lot of the ball, but when he gets it, he makes the most of it, and that was a shining example. So back in the middle we go. It'll be Smith and Leadham. Smith and Leadham. Leadham with a hand down for Rundle. He races away, gets it out in front of a runner, and it's well taken. It was Smith. He raced from the arc and took a good mark. Gets it moving over the top in between Gillo, Kelly Mansell and Whiting. None of them come out with it. It's straight to Bryce Walsh, but he gifts it straight to Blackberry. That little lefty puts it into the middle and finds Gillo. Gillo will line up for his second of the afternoon. It was so good. Worked in a phone box there, did Blackberry, and just found Gillo to perfection. Unlike Walsh to just give the ball away like he did, but Blackberry can be a really damaging player. So in comes Gillo. Off the left and through the middle. Never looked like missing. A good goal from the youngster. He was a late in, and in fairness, he's done his job in a losing cause. 2 goals, and he'd had 13 before three-quarter time, so he's had a fair afternoon, James Gillo.
4 goals in this last quarter to the Blues, 2 to Gillo and 2 to Whiting. They're fighting it out. We're about 14 minutes in. I started the clock a bit late there, Gilly, so don't take any notice of that. I was a bit slow off the mark. I think we're about 14 minutes into this last quarter. Back in the middle. It's been an entertaining contest. I suppose that first half, the first quarter is a bit ordinary, but since then we've seen 26 goals kicked, so been not a bad game of TSL footy at all.
No, not a bad game, and 2 teams you expect to be deep in September.
Umpire McEntee, not a good bounce. He'll have to do it again. We'll throw it up on this second occasion. It's a McGrath Foundation fundraising day today here at Windsor Park. There's been a luncheon in just behind us here in the function centre, and a good crowd in supporting the cause. Comes down now towards Fife. Stolen away from him by Rundle. Rundle up towards half forward. Blackberry will come out and mark this. Might be too far out to score. Here's a long raking left foot. He doesn't go for it. Passes instead here, looking for Kelly Mansell, but it's a good mark there to Ben McGuinness, who's had a great game today across half back. They've been strong defensively, have the Lauderdale Bombers. McGuinness, deep outside 50. Again, stumps it away. Only as far as Denellen, who gets tackled to the ground. He might have been pushed in the back there by Hayden Smith. He was. So Jack Denellen will take the free kick. Right in front of the Lonnie coaching box. Disconsolate Sam Lonigan over there. Out of the game early with concussion. Denellen goes short. On the bounce, it's taken by Nunn. Handball ineffectual. Straight to Clinton Brown. He shovels it out. Aganis tries to pick it up. He dives in a second time. It's going to be a ball up here, I'd say. Heavy's in there for the Bombers. Ball up. The score, 16-9-105 Lauderdale. 10-4-64 Launceston. Close contest at the Twin Ovals. And a couple of points in it. The Tigers, Anglin Orkey. Here's Tyrrell. Tries to break a tackle. He does. Lead him. Handball's out. Connor Smith's in there. So is Bryce Walsh. Finally, Rundle breaks it open. Kicks inside 50. Chance here for Whiting. Oh, flying high there was Ben McGuinness. Jake Smith down holding his head. Lauderdale player tackled. Be a ball up about 25 metres out from goal. Take it over, Gilly.
I will. So it'll be a ball up. Up it goes. Nunn and Wish Wilson. Nunn gets it to Power Freeman. Has his kick blocked by McGuinness, who's wrapped up in a strong tackle. The ball's going nowhere, so it'll be another ball up. Launceston trying to get a bit out of this game. A strong last term as the ball's up again. Nunn and Wish Wilson once more. The hit out is directed to Walsh, who's immediately met in a good tackle by Rundle. And it'll be rinse and repeat here. The Sting pretty well out of this game as it Nunn takes it out of the ruck, and if you don't mind, he's put it through. A good bit of work from Jakey Nunn. Opportunistic. Saw that he could just clunk it out of the ruck. He threw it on the boot and it found its way through the big sticks. Launceston with another.
Handy player, Jake Nunn. Just goes under the radar a little bit. A little bit down today. He probably hasn't got as much of the balls he would have liked, but it's a handy goal. It's 5 goals in this last quarter for Launceston. 16-9-105 Lauderdale. Launceston 11-4-70. He played about 17 minutes. Next week, Gilly, the stream is at?
The stream is at Blunston Arena, and we'll see Launceston again. It'll be,
another big test for them.
Up against Clarence. So Clarence, I believe, just round out big winners over Devonport. So
they have indeed down at Blunston Arena. Paul Freeman might have been pushing the back. Yes, says the umpire. He'll take the free kick. So 5 goals this quarter. If they finish with 6 or 7, that's a good return for the Blues in this last quarter. They're fighting it out. Margin back to 35 points. Here's Tutayave. He finds some space. To Fife. Laterally now to Wiggins. His handball smothered by Brown. He goes a second time as Wiggins. Out towards Kelly Mansell. He can't pick it up. Casey Brown working hard. Paul Freeman. Dangerous handball back to Savage. He'll have to kick. He does straight away. Falls in the lap. Oh, no, it doesn't fall in the lap there of Scott Hill. He's tackled to the ground by Blackberry. His teammate there, Wish Wilson, just got a hand in on it and prevented him from taking the mark. Been playing about 18 minutes here in this last quarter. Lauderdale 105, Launceston 70. Up goes Ben McGuinness. Gee, impressed with his game. Rundle tackles him. And he's caught holding the ball. A bit tough on the young man there. Strong tackle there from Sam Rundle. Veteran now for Launceston. Was a member of those very good sides back in the early 2010s. Kicks up towards Vandervelde over the top, though it's Nunn who takes the mark. Crowded at 50 in front of him. Player streaming back. Not a lot of space. Although Jake Smith finds some, he takes the mark. He might be too far out for Jake. He's not a long kick. He might make a liar of me. He's going to have a go at it. Jake Smith in the long sleeves. He'll kicking right on 50, 45 angle. Taking his time. Debuted back in 2013, Jake Smith. Kicks for goal. It might come round. It's not a bad attempt here. It's a goal. He's made a liar of me. Jake Smith puts her his first for the day. 12-4-76 Launceston. Lauderdale 16-9-105.
They're finishing strong here, Launceston.
Yep.
They'll take a bit out of this last term. I reckon Darren Winter will be not so happy over there on the opposing bench, but Lauderdale will have the job done, and the Sting's well and truly out of the game, but credit to Launceston.
One thing Sam Lonergan has done is got Launceston fit. They're a fit team, a big pre-season, so they'll always run out of game. They've left their run far too late.
So the ball back in the middle, thrown up. Ben McGuinness in the ruck now. He brings it down. None of the midfielders can really gather. It comes in the end to Connor Smith, who's wrapped up. And it'll be another ball up. pretty much dead centre of Windsor Park. It's quite a bleak outlook here. It's quite the sun's gone away. It's quite cold, and the clouds are at play. It's the ball's balled up again, and it's another one. It'll be another ball up once more.
Final score at Launceston Arena, Clarence 19-11-125, Devonport 5-6-36.
As expected there, Clarence, they're in a good patch of form. It's kicked forward by Connor Smith. Back with a flight goes Bill Chambers. He's run into an own player in Clevercamp. We'll follow that one. Ducking and diving is a Launceston player there.
Free kick.
It'll be a free kick. It was Sonny Whiting. I think he might have milked this one, Dave.
Yeah, it was a little bit soft. I'm not sure it was pushing the back or high, but certainly he was first to the ball.
Clevercamp's still
He's
down.
still down, isn't he?
Yeah, still down. He's not looking too good at all. Got the trainer there. Just seemed to really just cop one.
One of those ones that Darren Winter would be happy with both players because they never took their eyes off the ball. A thing that opposition players find out a bit if you get run into by Phil Bill Chambers rather, it leaves an impression. He's a big unit.
Good news for our listeners is that he's up on his feet, being assisted by a couple of trainers.
An important player for Lauderdale, so they'd hope that's not too serious.
He's been a great recruit from, hasn't he, Clevercamp?
Been a tremendous recruit, and Julie Kay in the halftime break spoke about a lot of players that left Lauderdale, but they've rebuilt this squad superbly.
Just other scores quickly while Sonny's waiting for his shot for goal. I think it's probably half time there at Burnie. It's Hobart City 4-7-31, Hobart 2-2-14, and the half-time score at the Twin Ovals was Glenorchy 6-4-40, the Tigers 5-8-38. Any news from the AFL there? Gilly, you've been keeping an eye on that?
Yeah, I have. I'll get it up. The Doggies 6-12-48, West Coast Eagles 9-11-65, 17 minutes into the third, and half-time Colton 5-1-31, Adelaide 6-1-37, so a tight one. As Sonny Whiting makes his way in, he's had a quiet afternoon, but a good last term. It's coming, but it's wide to the right, and a minor score. So Sonny Whiting hasn't seen too much of it in the first three quarters, been pretty good in the last as Josh McGuinness takes the kick and takes it well. A high one looking for his brother on the far side. Tute Havea gets involved, probably steals it to Garnis, bustles in to McManus and catches him high. It's Heavey even. It'll be a Lauderdale ball. Heavey, one of those bit part players for the Bombers, just does his job and is ever so dangerous when he gets near it. Just dinks this one over the top. Finds McManus. McManus, a high kick. Numbers everywhere. Vandervelde looked at it. Smith came through and took the mark. I thought he did. It was a Garnis actually at the back. Few had a piece of it. Picks up the ball. There's a bit of time and space to work in. Gets it into the centre. Just nudged it to Rundle. Didn't take the mark, but followed up his work. Long down the line. It's a good mark taken by Nunn. Nunn drops it off to Blackberry. That long raking left, and it's a good one. It finds Sonny Whiting's lead. Sonny just found a bit more of the footy in this last term. He'll go and have another look at goal, Sonny Whiting. This one about 45 out. He's gone the top. It's held up. It won't quite meet goal. Jake Nunn under it. Tries to get a piece of it. It's socked towards the goal line. Picked up by Josh McGuinness. Just a nudgy little ball. Not good for the skipper. Oh, it's picked up by Hutchinson. He trips over his own 2 feet. Over the top, it's Raleigh Kellermansell. It's straight to Blackberry. He tries to fashion a shot. Picked up by Bill Chambers. Tries to hand it to Wiggins, but hands it over the line, and it's a throw in. So the result, well and truly wrapped up here at Windsor Park, but Launceston showing some fight late on in the piece. Thrown in. It's Wish, Wilson and Nunn. Nunn with a good hand. Fife nudges out a kick, and it's taken by Hutchinson. He'll go back.
He might get a handball to Blackberry here. Yes, he will.
Does. Blackberry wrapped up straight away. Luckily for the Blues, the umpire said, no, I'm not having any of that play on. And save their bacon. So Hutchinson will have another look. No runners this time. He just tries to put it to the top of the square, but it's all Lauderdale, and McGuinness takes an uncontested mark. All on his own. He's dropped back the dying embers of this game. Just Lauderdale looking to put this one on ice. Long comes McGuinness, looking for his brother, Alex Hill. Those Dukes are on fire. Flames on his hands today, I'm telling you. He's been superb, the big man. Just puts it down the line, looking for Clint Brown. It's taken by Franklin. A good bit of work by Franklin. Just bustled his way in and took a good mark. Franklin, long high ball. Tute Havea. No, it's McManus. Takes a mark, but Havea got rid of Aganis and undoes McManus's good work.
Okay, quick score report from Warnie in the boundary. Warnie, what do you got for us?
Yeah, Max Clevercamp, he's got a jacket on the bench at the moment. He's icing up the chin. But I think he's probably done for the day, as there's not much longer left in this final quarter here at Windsor Park.
We'll see you down in the Lauderdale rooms, Warnie.
Yep, no problem.
So Aganis got 50 metre for his troubles. He'll take it. And just nudges it to no one in particular. Phil Bellchambers under it. Can't take the mark. He'll be able to mop up his work though. Just gets it moving. A couple of Launceston players run into each other, and Thor Boscott gets in on the act and catches Shepherd high there. So it'll be a Launceston ball taken quickly to Rundle. Rundle just into the centre. Tyrrell has his eyes on this. Can't take the mark. Sutton does. A good clunk from Reece Sutton.
Sutton marks about 25 metres out from his defensive goal. He holds the ball aloft. Got a set play happening here, have we?
Looks like he's lined up for goal, Dave.
That's right. Yeah, long down the line, I think that symbol was, because that's what he does. Falls over the back at Alex Hill. He tries to kick straight away, gets smothered. Here's Tom Shepherd. Oh, met heavily there by Boscott. Was Thomas Shepherd. Oh dear, Thor Boscott. Not in trouble over that one. No. As Tom Shepherd will take the resulting free kick. Thor was explaining to the umpire what went on.
I think Thor's just making sure that one doesn't go into the book, Dave.
No.
I don't think there was anything in it for the record.
No. Yes, Thor's had a little holiday already this year. As over the top, almost goes to Brown. Taken there by McGuinness. Gets to his brother, Ben. Ben kicks off a step. Falls to the back line here for Launceston to Savage. He takes it. He tired Chris Savage. Gets it out towards Hutchison to Donnellan. Nearly siren time here at Windsor Park as he gets it to Smith. Smith wheels and goes. Pursued by Wiggins. Inside 50 to Whiting again. Wow, Sonny's had a big last quarter.
I think a bit to do with it is Max Clevercamp off.
Yep.
I think he's in patches played on Whiting and been pretty good. So
Sonny Whiting, he's kicked a couple in this quarter.
Yeah, this will be. He's going for his third goal this quarter here, Sonny Whiting.
Let's bring the margin back to 22 points. When it, I think it got out to over 50 at one stage. It's for the 7th goal of the quarter. Sonny Whiting, it's off to the right again. He's missed so that right-hand side twice in a row now. 12-6-78. Launceston, 16-9, 105, Glenorchy.
So Stanley with the ball. He'll go long. There's a pack that forms. Ben McGuinness looked the best place to take the grab. Franklin swats it away. Falls for Jake Nunn. Assesses his options. Going out for Sonny Whiting. Can't take it. Fisted away by Wiggins. Picked up by Tyrrell. Over the top, it's Whiting again. He tries to get around a couple. Goes back. Finds Blackberry. Blackberry off that left. Into the pocket. It favours Kelly Mansell. He can't take the grab. It's picked up nicely by Smith, but he drops it and is holding the ball. So Lauderdale's ball here. The result well and truly wrapped up. It was wrapped up at 3/4 time. Launceston with a good last term, but Lauderdale have been the better team this afternoon. And the siren draws a close to a big win for Lauderdale. It keeps them safe in the top 5. And it might just edge them ahead of Launceston. We'll have to do the maths and look at the ladder, but a big win for Lauderdale, stamping themselves as a genuine contender, Dave.
Yep, it's an impressive display. They just let it go a little bit in that last quarter, but when the game was there to be won in that second and third quarter, they were just completely dominant all over the ground, dangerous in attack, dominant midfield, a tight defence, and all over the ground they had the measure of Launceston for the better part of the game.
16-9, 105 to 12-6-78.
Anthony, you got the goal kickers there for us.
And the goal kickers for the home side, Launceston, we have 3 goals to Ruller, Kelly, Mansell, 2 to James Gillow, and 2 to Sonny Whiting, who actually kicked their goals in the final term. Also singles to Joe Boyce, Jake Smith, Brody Palfreyman, Connor Smith and Jake Nunn. For Lauderdale, a really even spread yet again. Alex Hill with 4 majors, Thor Boscott with 3, Alex Heavey 2. We've also got Raymond Hill with 2 and Corey Laumses with 2 as well. Singles to Bell Chambers, Roberts and Wiggins.
So post-game, we'll have Warnie down the rooms. We'll get the team song and also get some thoughts from Darren Winter. And we'll have a bit more analysis from the game here at Windsor Park. But for now, let's take some messages from City Park Radio. We might also farewell now our TSL live stream viewers who've been with us this afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. 16-9-105, Launceston 12-6-78.